Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the last game of today, England versus Argentina. It is certainly a big one. The odds makers have this as almost a completely even split, which means it could go either way, which is going to be a very exciting way to close out day one of the Rugby World Cup. But looking through, first of all, at this English side, it is Ellis Genja, the front row, alongside Jamie George and Dan Cole. Quite a bit of experience there. And I believe England may look to try and use their rolling maul in this game, try and get some extra pressure on the Argentines early, try and force a few errors. Mauro Itoje and Ollie Chisholm will be the lock-in duo for this contest, with Courtney Laws as captain at number 6, Tom Curry number 7, and Ben Earl as the number 8. That is due to the absence of Billy Vunipola. Another absence that the English have is, of course, Owen Farrell. He will not be at 10. Instead, George Ford with Alex Mitchell as the number 9, and that is actually due to the injury of Jack Van Poortvliet that Alex Mitchell does get this opportunity. Manu Tuolangi in the midfield alongside Joe March in a nice combination of power and speed. It should be entertaining to watch. Elliot Daly out on the left wing, Johnny May out on the right, and Freddie Stewart, the youngster, at number 15. Now, they talked about the 2019 Rugby World Cup. He watched the games from his dorm room and now gets the opportunity to take to the field for England and hope they have a real impact. Looking through at this Argentine side, it is going to be Thomas Gallo at number 1, Julio Montoya at 2, and Francisco Gomez Cordella as the number 3. Matthias Alemano and Thomas Lavanini, the lock-in duo. A lot of physicality, a lot of feistiness coming from those two individuals. Pablo Matera at 6, Marcos Crema at number 7, and Juan Matan Gonzalez as the strong number 8. Gonzalo Berrano and Santiago Carreras, the 19 combination that Los Pumas did go with throughout the Rugby Championship. It has proven effective before, and they will hope that it is again. Santiago Chocaberez at number 12, and Lucio Cinti on his outside at number 13. Mateo Carreras out on the left wing. Emiliano Boffelli, his long boot, could be very handy for the Argentines throughout this match, and Juan Cruz Malia will be there at number 15. Looking through at the chat, we have got "Come on Argentina, come on the Panthers," says Kerr there. Vamos Los Pumas, says Tapo, and damn, 61% Argentina. How times have changed, says okay. That's the thing, Argentina at the moment, they are riding a wave of momentum, and I'm hoping that they will be able to show up for this contest. The other side of things is England. We haven't seen them in a Rugby World Cup since 2019 in the final up against the Springboks. They'll be looking to prove themselves. Whole different coach, quite a different side for this match as well, though. So there's a few different crucial elements for England that need to work here for them to find success. Looking through at the benches, it is going to be Dan at number 16, Marler and Stewart as the other two replacements for England in the front row. Martin at number 19 with Ludlam as the 20, Danny Kerr, Marcus Smith, the Harlequins connection at 21 and 22. And then number 23, it is Ollie Lawrence to close out this English side. For Argentina, a lot of experience for Augustin Crevi off the bench with Joel Scalevi and Eduardo Bello as 18, Guido Petti and Rubiolo alongside Rodrigo Bruni. So actually going with the 6-2 split here off the bench for Argentina. Bazin Velez at 22, Matthias Maroni as the number 23. But we are approximately sitting around 15 minutes away from kickoff in this game, ladies and gentlemen. The stadium roof is on. Well, kind of. They've got a hole in the top, as you can see behind me, but it is going to be an electric atmosphere. A lot of people feel that this will be the closest game of the Rugby World Cup weekend. I have to say, some of the results we have seen already this week have had a relatively wide split, so I do hope this game is a little bit closer. Looking through at England's past form, their last game was up against the Fijians, and of course, the result was not what they had in mind. 30 points to 22, the first ever win that the Fijians have had for themselves over the English. They will be looking to redeem themselves here, although before that stage, they had also lost to the Irish in an international warm-up game for this Rugby World Cup. Then they went 1-1 with the Welsh just a little bit earlier on in August. Now, Argentina, they have only had 2 Rugby World Cup warm-up games, the first of which being up against the Springboks. They did lose it at home, 24 points to 13. The other game was up against the Spanish, and it was a little bit one-sided. 62 points to 3, actually not too far off a margin that we did see in Pool B a little bit earlier on today between Argentina and the Irish. But we can currently hear the crowd. They are cheering Los Pumas. They are cheering for the English. They're excited to see this game get underway. But in the chat, we have also got there, Los Pumas are dangerous, says Ruth. Go Argentina, says JC. Come on, Los Pumas, says Marco. What's your prediction, Hamish, says Sports Fan. I am going to say that this game, I believe in my original prediction, I did go with the English, just narrowly managed to get themselves through. But I feel like there's a nice bit of momentum here for Argentina. England look fired up, though. Courtney Laws is dripping from head to toe in sweat. It's a hot evening in France. I have a feeling Argentina win against a disorganised England team lacking in confidence, says Wise One. And based on form, either Romania was a closer game than this, says Kerr in there as well. And where's Cole Stinkler? I believe he's injured, unfortunately, at the moment, Cole Stinkler. So I don't think he'll be available for most of this Rugby World Cup. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But yeah, England's starting to have a few players falling into their injury category, which is the last thing they want. At this stage, if I had a lazy $20, I would back the Pumas to win, says Rave. And also, we have got there, I'm picking England for the win, says Glenn. Pumas can do it, says Stuart. And Argentina by 15 to 20 points is another prediction I've seen in the chat. But looking at, now I will mention this little segment here. We have got some spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do not want to know the results of a few of the other Rugby World Cup fixtures, I am about to show them on the screen, or at least the pools and how they do sit currently. Mainly on this side of the draw, because we look at Pool D, it is wide open. England, Argentina, Japan, Samoa, and Chile. Now, it is the Samoans who are not in action this week. They will have their game next week up against Chile. Japan are playing up against the Chileans tomorrow. We will be covering that game on the channel as well. But as you can see, Australia, they are sitting top of their pool, Pool C, with the 20 points differential after getting themselves a victory over Georgia. I feel like these two groups, to be honest, they are the ones that I think a lot of people have their eyes on because of how close they could end up finishing. Every point is crucial, so whoever walks away with this game, of course they will want to walk away with that extra bonus point for scoring 4 tries in this game. It's going to go down to the wire. I have just that little bit of a feeling we're going to have a last-minute thriller here for the Rugby World Cup, and I am absolutely ecstatic that we are going to get to see it. South Africa standing behind Argentina. Says not your everyday cultures and review too, and no snack talk, says it was there from Kurt. I go 28-26 for Argentina, says Wise One. Argentina to win by 2 tries, says username. And we have got there from Daryl, the arrogance from Ireland in the north is remarkable. They are all but got the World Cup won. The south will have to put them in their place again, says Daryl. Well, the thing is, Argentina, they'll be hoping to get themselves their first win here. They have had a couple previous decent World Cups, but I feel like this year, their squad that they've got a huge amount of potential of going far. And I think that's exactly what they need, is a big win here over England to then help them out. But England are no easy beat. And I know that that sounds weird to say after a couple of the recent performances, but we've got to remember, this is the World Cup. England have been there, done that before. They have won it in 2003. Of course, it was a long time ago. Freddie Stewart almost wasn't born the last time that England have held a Rugby World Cup. But they still have that belief in their side. They did relatively well in the last Rugby World Cup. They managed to make it all the way to the final. 326 viewers and only 35 likes. Hit the like button, people, and show support. Says bystander, yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you all being here for these exciting matches for these two teams. They have not just got this game in their Rugby World Cup pools, of course, for England. Next week, they will be going head-to-head with Japan. That is a 7 a.m. kickoff. That is actually the last game that has taken place in round 2. England versus Chile. That is at 4:45 a.m. New Zealand time on the 24th of September. And then they have the week off. They close out their group stage with the game up against the Samoans for the Argentines. They have got their game in 2 weeks' time up against Samoa, so they will not be playing in a next week's game. Then they have got Chile in 21 days, in which they did actually play the Argentina XV more recently. It was a relatively close game between those two teams. And then Japan versus Argentina to close out their group stage. I've mentioned it once, I'll mention it again. Every win is crucial. Even if it is a loss, you need to get that losing bonus point of being within 7 to have a real shot of closing out in the quarterfinals. But looking through at the games, we have already seen France play New Zealand, of course. We are up to this one at the moment, England versus Argentina. We've got 3 games taking place tomorrow, including South Africa versus Scotland, as well as Wales versus Fiji to close out the weekend. So there are a lot of big games just around the corner. And I know that there are a lot of rugby fans who are very happy at the moment to get to see as much as we are seeing. And hi, I'm a cricket fan, says Master. And also we've got the karaoke out at my lamb curry and rice, thanks, says Ruth. And also we have got their New Zealand sent over. Can we have that money back, please, says Mark? I don't think that's how it works. I'm sure they would have had like a no givesies backsies rule on that money, I would assume. Yeah, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, we've got those games taking place tomorrow that we are covering. The next game that we have got is actually at 11 p.m. tonight, New Zealand time. And that is between the Japanese and Chile. Go Pumas, please teach those Brits a lesson, and teach them good. And I can't wait for this match to start. This is going to be a blockbuster. Argentina 24 to the England 17, says Mornay Lagrange. So I don't think I've seen too many score predictions that have had this game split by more than 10 points. Overall, everyone seems to believe it's going to be a relatively close game between the two sides. The two teams are about to make their way out onto the field. They are just having the coin toss between Courtney Laws and Julian Montoya. Now, both teams will want to build their momentum for this Rugby World Cup. Argentina coming off that massive win up against Spain in their last game, winning it 62 points to 3. Prior to that, they were beaten by South Africa. In fact, they were beaten by the Springboks twice in 2023. So I believe that with that information, the Pumas at some stage want to start that redemption story, and that would involve having to make it far in this comp to find themselves in a match up against the Springboks, but it will be a tough task no matter who they come up against in those quarterfinals. And at the moment, it does seem more than likely that the winner of this game will be facing the second team in Pool D, and the loser of this match will more than likely face the Australians. We've got their big Argentina wins, says sports fan. Big luck for England. The upcoming Cricket World Cup, biggest sporting event in 2023, says Master, and this is going to be a lovely, exciting game. Who's the talisman for the Pumas' pivotal player? I think it's all going to have to go through Santiago Carreras, the man who was starting at number 10, I should say. But also Gonzalo Bertranu, that 9-10 combination has been working relatively well for Argentina. And I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is a combination that could win them this game. But I'm looking forward to seeing England's midfield combination. Manu Tuolangi, Joe Marchant. Power, speed, awesome backline for both of these teams. It's going to be an absolutely brilliant game. This match seems to be the closest match this weekend. Says Hone there. Yeah, I believe that this game alongside Wales and Fiji, a lot of people feel that that game could have a very close scoreline as well. Think Johnny May will score 10 tries in this World Cup, says Luke. Tell you what, if he does, England are going to find themselves some pretty decent momentum heading towards those quarterfinals. And Tuolangi totally passed it, says Kerr. He's good for 5 minutes. Normally that 5 minutes he's very exciting. And then normally they do need to sub him because the calf has given way. But I should mention, we have already seen 6 players get themselves doubles in their first games. We did see Johnny Sexton score 2. We saw Tyke Byrne get himself 2. Also in that game, Peter O'Mahony getting 2. Mac Hansen. No, not Mac Hansen, sorry. Hugo Keenan, I think he managed to get himself 2 as well. Oh no, it was Bundy Arki, the last man in that game to get the 2. Mark Talia got 2 in his game. And then for the Australians, we recently saw 2 tries scored in that game as well. So it seems to be, if you score yourself 1 try, you've got a very good chance of crossing that try line once more. So you want to score early, get yourself some confidence, and perhaps you can get the double before the end. And ancient fellas in the English squad, Marla, Dan Cole, Johnny May, Danny Kerr, surely better young fellas in England, says Marco. And it does seem like Borthwick has gone with that more experience factor in this Rugby World Cup, which is the complete opposite of what we've seen from the Australians. They decided to go completely with the youth side and hope that those players are able to step up and build them towards 2027 as well. England's performance today will give an indicator if they're getting out of their group or not, says username. And if they do lose this game, they will find themselves in a similar boat to the Kiwis, although the benefit that New Zealand have is they only have to beat Italy. England from here will have to beat Samoa, they'll have to beat Japan, they'll have to beat Chile, which they should be able to do, but we just need to see something from this English side to show us that they have some sort of form about them. Saw an interesting review of the English 23 by an Englishman. I will add, made a few very good points from the English squad who would take for a mixed starting 15 from the Six Nations, nobody. says Kerr. See, that's the thing. They've got a lot of men who are complacent in this English side. I feel like those younger men, such as Alex Mitchell, gets added into the side. Freddie Stewart, I feel like he's slightly sound at number 15, but there's still room for improvement there. You look at the rest of this four-pack, though. Ollie Chisholm, another young player. The rest of them have pretty much been in the English side for a long time. Already feel like even if they're out of form, they will get selected. We have also got there Dan Cole. Looked old when Beast schooled him in 2019 final, and he's still around. My reading has gone downhill big time. I think my eyes are pretty bloodshot. As you guys can see, we have been up for about 28 hours or somewhere along those lines. Either too young or inexperienced or old, slow and tired was his point, says Kerr there. And I just like the choir singing the national anthem, says Honey. I know that a lot of people have given that same feedback, so perhaps in the second round they may look at another option other than having the choir, just because, you know, of course they want to keep everyone happy, but then at the same time, depending on what is happening with that choir in terms of if it's like some sort of special thing that they've got planned, they may leave it a little bit longer. Ridiculous anthem again, says Power Bite. Hi, says Yucko, welcome in, mate. And also Hamish the Myth King, says Grant in there. Welcome in, Grant. Hope you are also doing very well. Looking through at this English starting lineup once again before we get into the kickoff. Alice Genge, Jamie George and Dan Cole as the front row. Maro Itoje and Ollie Chisholm will be the locking duo, so a little bit more experience for Maro Itoje in that department. Courtney Law's the captain. He was playing the last time that England played the Fijians back in about 2015. Tom Curry at 7 and Ben Earl as the number 8. He's only recently started getting himself starts for England. Has been doing pretty decently since that happened. Alex Mitchell and George Ford, the 19 combination, due to the suspension still in play for Owen Farrell. Manu Tuolangi in the midfield alongside Joe Marchant. Elliot Daly, Johnny May and Freddie Stewart will be the back three for this matchup for the Argentines. The side that are in form, getting themselves a whole heap of points in their game up against Spain, winning it by around that 60 mark. Thomas Gallo, Julian Montoya and Francisco Gomez Cordella in the front. Matthias Alimano and Thomas Lavanini as the locking duo, with Pablo Matera at number 6. Marcos Crema, number 7, back from his suspension because he is an angry bloke. At number 8, Juan Martin Gonzalez, Gonzalo Bertrano with Santiago Carreras as the 19 combination. Xocha Barres and Cinti in the midfield. Then Matteo Carreras, Emiliano Boffelli and Juan Cruz Malia as the back three. They are just showing an extreme zoomed in picture of Joe Marler. And God Save the King is being sung, which means we are just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, from the kickoff. Borthwick inherited a house on fire with a landlord throwing petrol, says Kerr. And also we have got there in the chat, pretty passionate singing from England. They're going to need it, says Richard. Yeah, we saw some pretty fired up players in that lineup, but we've talked about it already, how England need to find that next gear in this game. They weren't able to find it up against the Fijians last week. They weren't able to find it in the game up against Ireland the week prior. And they also weren't really able to find it in their series up against Wales when they did play 2 games back-to-back. Who was the referee in this game? They are about to show him. I assume we're due for a Kiwi referee or an Australian referee at this point. And don't like the choir singing the anthem, says Blue Star. That is a very popular opinion at the moment by the sounds of it. We have got there, I need Emiliano Boffelli to score 2 tries and 5 conversions for my fantasy team, says Grant. So yeah, he will have to have a busy day at the office, although it is possible for Emiliano Boffelli, if they can get it out wide quick enough, maybe put this English backline under that little bit more pressure on defence. The Argentines, they're looking huge, some of those big boys in the front row. I think that's Francisco Gomez Cordella that we're looking at. He's about 135 kgs and will certainly look to power forward. I should mention that England are going to be wearing their away or their alternative strip. England a failed state now, says okay, and sadly I think the RGs will bounce England, says Adrian there as well. And I'm off to Peacock. See you at halftime, Avery, says Mo. We will see you a little bit later on, but it will be Argentina kicking off this one from left to right. We've talked about how hot the weather has been. It is actually going to be Matthew Reynel in charge of this game, the French referee. We have got there, cricket is bigger than rugby, says Master. Yeah, although this is a cricket, I guess it's a cricket channel as well as rugby, but it is currently the Rugby World Cup. So I feel like the more you talk about cricket, the more the rugby supporters are going to get angry at you because you've put the same sentence for about 4 weeks now. But now The kickoff ready to go, Argentina. With the ball in hand, it will be Mateo Carreras to get us underway. In 3, 2, 1. Looks like a relatively packed out crowd as well, which is absolutely awesome to see for Marseille. We have got the angry, says okay in there, and also we have got the then go watch your cricket get lost, says Marco, but it is kicked off now by Argentina, going from left to right. And we are back underway for another game of the Rugby World Cup. Courtney Laws takes nicely inside of the English 22. Good low tackle made on him by Emiliano Boffelli. Surely that earns you something in the Fantasy League. For a tackle go, Argentina, Southern Hemisphere must take this on, says Vicus, I believe it would be, and it is kicked into touch by England. Argentina now with the line out, approximately 35 metres out from the English line. And Argentina, they'll want to start this game quickly, get those big forwards into the action. I see Pablo Matera at number 6. Of course, he is always an entertaining player to watch out for. We have got there, Kane Williamson is back in the World Cup squad for the Black Cats. A nice English kit, says Jonesy there, nicely taken by Argentina. Although that ball did drop out the back, they have said no knock on, so Francisco Gomez Cordella keeps it on the side of Los Pumas for a bit longer. Bertrano looks to go out to his left-hand side. It looked like England were quite quick up there with Tom Curry being able to meet the Argentine attacker. Now Bertrano once again will look to go to the left. England, their tactic is to rush up, try and shut it down as quickly as physically possible. Now nice backline movement though, going out to Emiliano Boffelli, tackled by Jamie George, trying to get onto the ball there is Tom Curry, but wasn't able to get it. Now in behind, Santiago Carreras. England are lightning quick in the early stages of this match. Argentina running out of space, and they've realised now maybe not a bad option to be able to put the ball up high. Challenging for this one, Emiliano Boffelli tries to strip it out of the hands of Alex Mitchell, but he does get it down to ground. And England now in position 2 minutes in, just outside of their 22. Ollie Chisholm, nice straight run, straight at the Pumas. Now Mitchell's going to roll it back. He'll be going for a box kick of his own. Who do you think is going to win? I think it's going to be an extremely close game, probably split by around that 5-point mark. Could be anyone's to take. Hello from Chile. It is 4:04 here, says Oku. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. On the halfway line, Argentina able to take the kick. Now Bertrano gets it across to Pablo Matera. Now we've seen that man playing in the Rugby Championship. Also, a bit prior to that, we did get to see him playing for the Crusaders a few years ago. Little chip behind from Santiago Carreras, looking for the X Factor, but instead goes to Mitchell. Gets it off to Freddie Stewart, who kicks it downfield, and it's going to be a 50, was it a 50-22? I think that ball bounced inside of the 22, came back out, and then rolled into touch for the English. So it will still be an Argentine line out. Very close to the 50-22 for England early on. Great to see Tom Curry back, says Marco. I do like England more than Argentina, says okay. And Tom Curry, what a class player, says Jonesy. And there as well. But yeah, bounced in, then bounced out. I don't think we've seen that too often for 50-22 attempts. And there's already 2 players down, even though we have only had 3 minutes of play. I believe it was the Argentine, one of their backs, has ended up staying down. They are showing Steve Borthwick. That man will be nervous. He will be sweating bricks. Oh, I can see why the Argentine is down. His eyebrow has fallen off. Looks like Tom Curry's in a similar boat. I think going up for this ball, Juan Martin Gonzalez. Oh, he got the head-on-head from Tom Curry. Now, the crowd is starting to boo about this, and I wonder whether or not they will look upstairs, see if there was anything more serious about it. And Will Ferrell shoulder charge, says, okay, he will not because he's not playing in this game. He wasn't allowed to because he was suspended. Not good, says Wise One, but yeah, it's ended up chopping open the eyebrow. Juan Martin Gonzalez looks like marching, getting a bit of a drink. Tom Curry also has got the strapping round his head. Jeez, that is a bad cut for Juan Martin Gonzalez. For Juan Cruz Malia. I believe they will have to make the sub and get him off, says Grant. Yeah, it does sound like they will have to make the sub. I believe Matthias Maroni is the man off the bench. Matthew Raynell has said we want to have another look at this one to see if Tom Curry is guilty of anything more serious than just a penalty against him. And Argie did nothing wrong. Yeah, Argentina, I don't think they're the team getting penalised in this case. I think they're checking to see whether or not Tom Curry is going to get himself in trouble. See, it's a tricky one because Tom Curry, he waits till he lands. But the problem is he still makes head-on-head contact because he wasn't ducking down enough. So it's at least going to be a penalty. Head to the head. I don't want to see this be a red card, and I feel like at most it can be a yellow. But I would be disappointed to see a red card here. I would assume that they'll go yellow card with that report sign that they do. Matthew Reynal, though, big decision to make. England's discipline has not been flashed throughout 2023. Definitely after the Six Nations, that will be harsh on Curry, says Gus. I agree. I feel like it's one of those ones that I think he just misjudged it, but we did see a misjudged one from Will Jordan earlier on. He took the legs out underneath, so I think they will go yellow. I'd be disappointed if it's a red. I'll say that much. And Rugby Incident says power bite. And also yellow for Curry would be fair, and yellow says Kerr there. Okay, we have a full play, is the comment from Matthew Reynal. And give a yellow and get the game on, says Dylan. Yeah, that is why they brought in that new system of going with the on report, so that the game does get sped along. Unfortunately, it is going to be a card for Tom Curry. Yellow card on report. He apologises to Julio Montoya. Montoya's going, it's not me, mate. Oh, Montoya's fired up. And they're waiting for the review to see whether or not it gets upgraded to a red. I would like to think it will stay as a yellow, though, for Tom Curry. And Amish, you are the men, or you are the man today. Thank you, your voice is still good. Yeah, I'm surprised that my voice is working as well as it is at this point, but I think the test will be tomorrow whether or not the voice completely does cut out. Yellow makes sense, says us. And skip the yellow and red. I give him a joker card, says Philip Swart there. But Augustine Creevy off the bench. I think he was going like this. He was saying, yeah, it's not great, but yeah, Julio Montoya wasn't too keen on shaking Tom Curry's hand. He was saying, go shake the hand of the guy who you just put in stitches on his eyebrow. And Argentina is always fired up for some reason. They're just a very passionate team, I think is the best way of describing it. They play with their hearts on their sleeves, and when they feel like they haven't quite been able to put on that performance that they want to, or they feel like they're getting a little bit out-muscled, they normally turn to that grit and that kind of aggression, which normally works in their favour, although sometimes it does end up with players like Marcos Crema getting themselves red carded. But Emiliano Boffelli, this will be from about 54 metres out on the angle. We have got there, live here for some months and you will too, says Mikhail, and Hamish, your voice will be fine when you shout for your favourite team, the Springboks, says Grant there. But 57 metres out, actually a little bit further than I first said. But for Boffelli, this will be a chance to be able to get himself the first points on the board for Los Pumas. He's got the distance, that is for sure. We know that he loves striking them from inside of his own half. Got 30 seconds to be able to take it. It must be yellow, says Mornay. And yeah, it was given as the yellow. Oh boy. Boffelli, hang on. That is an incredible kick from Emiliano Boffelli. That looked like he shanked it out to the right-hand side, and then it just started curling, and then kept curling, and it went straight down the middle of the post as if it was supposed to happen that way. But 3-0 now for Argentina in this game over England. It would be nice if this Rugby World Cup occurs every year. So exciting matches, says Coding. And Emiliano has a big boot on him, says Grant in there as well. An amazing kick, says Powerbite. Yeah, the way that it just bent round, naturally using the no wind that they've got at the ground, is pretty enclosed. So a lot of skill being shown by Boffelli early. Nice step there from Mateo Carreras. Hopefully the scoreboard will update itself in the very near future. I should mention that in the next about 5 minutes or so, we will know if Curry's card has been upgraded. But for now, Juan Cruz Malia is off the field and Matthias Maroni has made his way out onto it. Now Freddie Stewart running forward for England. Alex Mitchell going across to the left-hand side. Short ball from Jamie George. Nice bit of work here from some of the English forwards to be intense early on, bring that little bit of extra power on. Nice take from Emiliano Boffelli. Courtney Laws takes him down around the bootlaces. Now Argentina 45 metres out from the line. Quick hands out to Thomas Gallo. Courtney Laws almost just a little bit off his feet at the hands down. Interesting fact, most cards per game in recent years from top sides is actually the ABs, averaging a card every 2 games with a red card every year for the last 6 years on the bounce, says Kerr. And I also saw a stat that said something along the lines of the Barrett brothers are responsible for 25% of the red cards in All Blacks history, which is quite impressive when you think about how long the All Blacks have been going for. But that is going to be another penalty in favour of Argentina, which means they will look to go for another 3 points here, continue building up that lead while they are being given the gift of so many penalties against England. These nations have fought at war before. Incredible, says Wise One and Vamos Kiwi lads, says Blues Nate, and Scots has most cards at 5, says Kerr. And there as well. And there were quite a few players heading into this Rugby World Cup that actually were on suspensions, which is a little bit unfortunate for England. Billy Vunipola, Owen Farrell both missing. For Argentina, Crema was close, but he has now recently come back from his one. And double L's in Argentina Spanish are pronounced like shh. So it's Thomas Gashaw, says the big VH. I will try my best to be able to remember that one. Boffelli tries to bring around. This time it doesn't quite have that same bend, so the score remains at 3-0. The Barrett family also counts for 25% of All Blacks. It's too many of them, says Grant. And in fairness, once upon a time, you need to throw 10 punches to get a red, says Yvonne. And what happened regarding the card, and was it fair? I believe that a yellow was as harsh as it could be in that scenario. I don't think there was any real ill intent from Tom Curry. He just messed up his timing. So it's been a yellow card. They haven't said whether or not it's being upgraded as of yet, but I assume in the next 3 or so minutes we will know. Cluin has said, hello, my mate. I'm supporting your channel from South Africa, Durban. Argentina is going to beat England. And Boffelli is one of the best kickers I've ever seen, says Stephen as well. But now Argentina receive the 22 dropout just inside of their own half. Pablo Matera breaking through the tackle attempt of Maru Atoje, but Earl was able to stop him. Now Gonzalo Bertrand, a short ball from Marcos Kremer. It is a poor pass though, and it sits up for Joe Marchant to be able to kick it forward. Mateo Carreras cleans it up nicely for the Argentines, and they will receive this one just outside of their own 22, maybe looking for a kick just around the corner. They'll put themselves under that little bit more pressure than they did intend. Now, it's going to be kicked off the left boot for Matthias Maroni, going deep into England territory and now running back up to the halfway line. Freddie Stewart, that is cynical from the Argentine. He jumped and smacked him straight in the mush. I believe that will go back for the penalty, or will it? Yes, it is. So they have gone to where the kick went to. The players still want to keep going, but England have got themselves now the penalty. They may look upstairs just to see, but that didn't look too flash. Freddie Stewart getting a butt cheek to the face is the best way of describing it. And Football Skills says, Blues, that actually is kind of similar to what we saw for the Argentine 15, Juan Cruz Malia, when he did end up cleaning up Grant Williams. We're about to see the replay of this one, but it did look like the timing was completely off. Matthew Reynal, they have turned off the time. They will look upstairs. This one could end up being a yellow card as well. In fact, there's a chance that it could even be more than that. Distracted Sports channel owner is Kiwi or Aussie. He is a Kiwi. Distracted Sports, France beat the All Blacks out of the All Blacks, says Trade. And also the red card says Power Bite. Yeah, this will be an evening factor if Argentina have just conceded, jumping into it. Okay, now, Carreras didn't get him as clean. Got him kind of on that shoulder, maybe just clipping the chin. But I believe that the way that he kind of curved off to the side there for Carreras, he's probably still going to end up with a yellow card because he didn't pull out. And of course, you have to make sure you're looking after that player who is kicking. It's going to be a yellow card. Another report. It's going to be like 13 men on the field for both of these sides at this point. Fun fact, Messi asked Boffelli how he gets so much distance with his kicks, says LB. And also, we'll get that bum to the face as a brown card, definitely, says Cited. And blimey, yeah, that's vicious, says Jonesy. A big misunderstanding is all, says Wives one. So both teams are playing with 14 men out there on the park. It wouldn't be a Rugby World Cup game without a little bit of controversy, and I guess this one is going to be interesting to see which ones get upgraded and which cards don't. In this case, by Juan Matan Gonzalez, the number 8 there, Juan Cruz Malia, who I sometimes confuse. He is about to make his way back out onto the field after getting a new jersey, seeing as the old one was covered in blood. That was worse than the Curry hit, says Richard. Our refs just love waving papers, says okay. An interesting fact, teams given a red card lose the game 80% of the time, says Kerr. So yeah, both of these teams definitely will not want their yellow cards upgraded to the red, or else it could be the difference between a win and a loss. But it is going to be George Ford now lining up this kick for England. Try and make the score back to even, just sneaks it in the right-hand post. And that now makes the score 3-3 in this eventful first 10 minutes of Argentina versus England. I want England to lose, says Cluin. Smiley Barrett, the Barrett boys' dad, was an AB in the 2020s. He'd be red-carded every time he played. He was a real mongrel, not as dirty as Corne Krieg, but getting near, says Kerno Wick. Oh, okay, we've had some news. Captain needs to be called over for England. This is Matthew Raynell making the decision on Tom Curry. This can't be a red, can it? We're about to find out. Oh, Tom Curry's has been upgraded to a red due to no mitigation. He will not be returning in this game. You can see the disappointment on his face. I feel like that's one of those ones that easily could have gone either way. But I thought it was just going to be a yellow, to be honest. Head on head. And Kiwi lads hit the 30k. And tell you it's a red, says Yvonne. And that's insane red card. Says Bowerbite and Tom Curry may or may not be in my fantasy team, says Jack. Well, that probably hurts you a little bit. Because a red card, I assume, wouldn't hurt your team. Or would hurt your team, sorry. And I from Colombia, where they knew almost nothing about rugby, says Neil. And now, England just inside of their own territory. Santiago Carreras, the question now is his going to be upgraded to a red card also? And also red card devastating for England. And that is now the third game in a row, if I'm not wrong, that England have had themselves a red card on the trot. That is certainly not what they want. I know that they've been practicing playing with less men on the field, but you kind of want to play with 15 sometime. Rugby is a circus, says Grumpus. Game ruined again. It's rugby, not cards, says that guy Jensen. The referee got it wrong, says Mornay. And also, that will be a red, says Powerbite. Now 11 minutes in, Elliot Daly here has been penalised this time, Argentina. They look like they are going to this time go for the corner, just a little bit too far out for Emiliano Boffelli on the angle. And devastating all over unless another Argentinian player gets a red soon. And all those games, all those cards are buggering up the game of rugby. Just my take, says Ockert. And also on point, I much love your commentary, says Adida. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We recently hit the 30,000 subscribers. We are seeing how high we can get by the end of today. So if you do want to help us out, please do hit that subscribe button. Julia Montoya throws it in. Nicely taken by, it was Matthias Alemano, as Argentina now build their way towards the English 22. Being relatively well shut down by England, although they have got a very thin defensive line. Or compact defensive line is the better way of describing it. So if they can get it out wide, could mean that Argentina have got a real chance of going into the corner. Love this channel, says Daniel. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And that will be the penalty this time to England. Argentina player not releasing. I believe it was Courtney Laws who got those long arms over the breakdown and wasn't letting go. I feel like you're 10 seconds behind the live game I'm watching, says JM. That is a high possibility. Mainly because I am watching on Sky Go. So that has got just about a 20 or 30 second delay. And no way, man, Reg, that's a real bad one, says Kerno Wick. Yeah, and so early in the game as well, it's certainly going to test England's stamina because they're playing in extreme heat. Argentina will get a red, says Powerbite. And red is brutal, not me, the cards, says Red Hell. Yeah, we are still eagerly awaiting to find out what will happen with the Santiago Carreras yellow card. Is he going to be upgraded to a red also? Or will he be able to continue in this match? Oh, okay. Matthew Raynell was just blowing his whistle to get the line out here. I thought we were about to find out. Okay. It's a 7-man line out here for England. Courtney Laws slaps it back into the hands of Alex Mitchell. Maybe this is something that England needed just to fire them up. Just that little bit more big shot coming in on Joe March and getting driven backwards. Now Alex Mitchell goes across again now into the midfield to Joe March. And not a lot of space in the middle there for them. So they do go back into the pocket and George Ford will look to put the ball forward. And I've subscribed already because I love your Kiwi channel, says Clun. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Nicely taken at the back. What's happened to Max Malins? Is he injured at the moment, ladies and gentlemen? Or have they just left him out of this side? We have got there another red for the English. It was not harsh when will England learn to tackle, says Yvonne. Although, to a certain extent, I would say that one did seem a little bit unlucky for Tom Curry because it was a timing issue, but I don't think there was any sort of serious intent in it. It was just the fact that the player was landing as he was getting ready to tackle him. Our line pickle for Red Curry, says Kalmick. And I'm 5 minutes behind because I can't refill my glass. Missing and pouring. Here, there, everywhere, says Blues Nate. Yeah, good attacking tackle from Marcus Kremer. Territory so far, 73% in favour of Argentina, so certainly finding their momentum early on in this game, although the scoreboard does still sit identical with 3 points to 3. Poor England getting crushed on this day, says Wise One. And also another red for England. Will the Argentina one be a red? We are yet to find out. But Carreras, some people were calling it as a red when he jumped into it because it was, as I called it, a butt cheek to the face, or the butt cheek to the shoulder might save him, rather than to the facial muscles and bones. Alex Mitchell. Nope, free kick goes the way of Argentina. And also we have got the Gary commitment. I don't think so, but ability definitely, says Kerr. And was that red harsh? I honestly would say it was a little bit harsh. And it looks like the yellow for Argentina will stay as in Argentina by the looks of the little scoreboard that we have got up in the top corner, and Carreras remains a yellow, it seems, says Fiji Islander. And there as well, and Argentina with the free kick off the scrum, just go for the up and under. Freddie Stewart takes the mark inside of his 22. Never a red bloody foreign ref, says Scott. And also, I can't wait for the bot game tomorrow, said Trade Masters. Yeah, we've still got quite a few exciting games of the Rugby World Cup this round. It's going to be Scotland taking on South Africa, as well as Wales taking on Fiji. We are covering both of those games on the channel, alongside Japan taking on the Chileans. So Carreras, they are showing there, he is going to be staying as a yellow card. Crowd are just seeing it again on the replay. I feel like there will be some frustration as well due to the fact that the Tom Curry one was upgraded. This World Cup just got harder for England, says Fiji Islander. I'm late again. Who scored first? No tries scored yet, but the first points on the board were scored by Argentina from Emiliano Boffelli. And then England able to get themselves the 3 points back. Now going for the rolling ball here, Argentina. It looked like it was slightly spiralling away to the side, and it's actually dropped out the back again. So it is a knock-on against the Pumas. England have got themselves a scrum from about 40 metres out. George Ford was walking around with his chest pumped back, or the shoulders back, chest out. He's fired up at the moment, and I feel like he is frustrated with how this game has started. And England fans must be pissed off, says Bot Fan Forever. And this is the first controversial match of the tournament, I would say so. I think that it has been the one that there'll be the most talking points about, and hopefully it's the only one that we have talking points about in terms of anything along those lines for the weekend. The blood made it worse. Luckily, bum rushing doesn't produce blood, says Cited. And also we've got there, England sometimes play better with 14. And unfortunately for them, more recently, they've been practicing playing with 13 on the field. Hopefully that's not the case in this game, though, although it would only take another yellow card for that to be the case. 42 metres out now, England. A good attacking opportunity to use this back line. George Ford, first receiver. Freddie Stewart actually joining into the line. It looks like he's taken on about that outside centre role with Marchant. Possibly another option. They go short side with Ben Earl breaking off the back, tackle by Marcos Kremer. Now Alex Mitchell decides that he needs to go with the pick and go. Looks for the offload, finds George Ford's hands. Now they're 30 metres out for the line here. England, great low tackle made on Ellis. Genge gets him low and just keeps it on the side of the English. I thought George Ford thought about a cross kick there. Instead, we'll take on the tackle once more. Jamie George receives that one a little bit low around the knees. Elliot Daly running sideways. Ben Earl now starting to open up a bit of space. Goes for the grubber in behind. Just drifts a bit too close to the touchline. Gets the high five from Johnny May. That one needed to stay in the field of play. Too early to call this as an England loss, says Fiji Islander. Yeah, we are still extremely early on in this game, sitting 3-3. Still plenty of time for both of these sides to make their adjustments. You can see that you favour England after all you still have, says Jose. See that you favour England after all you still have. I still have something, I assume. I assume that's because I said that their attackers look decent. I guess you don't like that. 10 seconds remaining of Santiago Carreras' yellow card, nicely claimed by Juan Martin Gonzalez. Back across to Bertrano, to the dangerous Marcos Crema. And England $2.75 to win. Says Wise One, yeah, normally that red card will really boost those odds up. Gonzalo Bertrano, now curving that one just a little bit towards the touchline. Johnny May, charging forward, taken out low by Julio Montoya, the captain of Los Pumas. Ellis Genge, good low tackle made on him by Lavanini. I feel like both of these sides have made a little minor adjustment to make sure they're going just that little bit lower. And the tackling, Pumas make England cry on the first day. Says Dylan. Now, Emiliano Boffelli, he takes the mark. Looks to slow this one down. I believe we're very close to drinks. Yellow card is back on. Says Matthew Reynell. The crowd are not happy. They are booing it while everyone plays with the same balls. Says Vitamin Green. And also we have got there Go England, says Vincent C. So England now, they have got 14 men on the field. Argentina back to the 15. And thank you, lads. Thanks for the great commentary, says Clive Williams. Nicely taken by England, just outside of their own 22. Argentina with that long boot of Emiliano Boffelli is definitely going to be something they try and use to their advantage. A lot of pressure being put on. Gonzalo Bertrano by Jamie George. Back in the hands of the Pumas. Now close to drinks. Curry already has a beer, says Kerr. And we have got the compulsory drinks breaks in the halves. Normally it is around that 20-minute mark. But yeah, Curry would have had a few beverages by the time this game is over. Who is doing your Sunday fry-up with black pudding, says Tom? No one that I know of. It is just myself. Freddie Stewart, nicely taken by him. Low tackle made by Santiago Chocha-Barres. George Ford, massive shot coming in on him though. Joe Marchant trying to break through his opposite numbers challenge. Lucio Cinti having to make 2 tackles back-to-back. Marchant cleans up the ball after it does bounce out the back. And thanks for your awesome commentary, Bruce, says Gary. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate you being here for this live stream. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road now to 31,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is greatly appreciated. Joe Marchant staying in the field of play. Now Mitchell. Back across, Alice Genge, I should say. Pablo Matera over the ball. Gets the turnover for the Pumas. They have got numbers on the right, but they decide to opt for the kick in behind from Santiago Chocha-Barres. It's curved beautifully. And it will be the 50-22 now for Los Pumas. We have got there. That was a hell of a kick, says Fiji Islander. It certainly was. Brilliantly curved. I talked about the long boot of Emiliano Boffelli, but of course with those 50-22s, you only have to get it right for around that 30 metres, and you end up getting that 50-22. I think that's only about 7 metres out from the line. Shame you look drowsy, Hamish, says Alfie. That'll be the fact that I've been up for around 28 hours. Probably something to do with it. And also we have got there, what a kick, says Yvonne, and well, what a 50-22, and it allows Argentina into the perfect position to mount their attack, although we have now got that drinks break that I mentioned. And watching, it is Tangata Pacifica, and listening to your awesome commentary, best breakfast, says Nazi Williams. We've already seen 100 metres made by the English, 62 metres made by Los Pumas, so not quite as many metres made per carry, but this is a position on the field that they may just be able to get themselves the first try of the contest, and at least you crushed them at rugby, says Wise One, and also Summer Penny Finau, says Blues Nate. And just like that, the English sing-song stops. Also, we have got there in the chat from Rudy, Hennis, and also OK. 3 comments that I'm not sure what they say, but shout out to you 3 for being here. Steve Borthwick, he's back on his feet. He's nervous at the moment. He knows how stressful this job has been. You're probably going to have to try coffee during this World Cup, says Jaco Vandenberg. Got water at the moment, should be all right. I only got 14-day break before Scotland game. Scotland have 7. That can make a difference. And I'm having a cold beer for you, bud, says Gary. And vamos Argentinos, says Wise Ones. It's now or never, says Doggo. And how on earth do you remember all the players' names, says Henk. Oh, I think I just watched way too much rugby. To be honest, I've recognised little things about them so that I can get them right. And then also the numbers on their back help drastically when I can't remember who's playing where. But now around the side, Juan Martin Gonzalez was trying to become a hurdler, trying to go over the top of the breakdown with his carry. 3 meters out from the line now for Argentina. Julian Montoya, the captain, shut down by Maru Atoje. Now Juan Martin Gonzalez offloads it across. Close. He's over the line, or is he? Right, the ball is down. This is going to be the question of whether or not there was a knock-on from Thomas Galcho. I've got the Hamish is rocking it. I hear great commentary, Kiwi lads. As always, the best team per pool in your opinion, says Kalen. I would say for Pool A, it's France. For Pool B, South Africa. Pool C, I would probably go with current form. You'd almost say the Fijians. And then Pool D, you'd have to go with Argentina. I think I'll go with that. I think overall Pool C is a little bit more of a debatable one due to the teams that are in it, though. You could say Australia, after their first win, could be on the right path. And cheers, Red Wine and Rugby. Enjoy your game, folks, says Ruth. And also we have got their serious question. What is Blackadder's preferred position, 6, 7 or 8? I believe he likes 6 the best, then followed by 7, and then probably 8 at the end. And Gacho rather than Gacho. Well, he's got the ball down. It's just whether or not there was a knock-on in the process. Looks like they need a ball. So it is going back for another penalty in favour of the Pumas. Dempsey is called Thor by the squad. He has a big hammer apparently. Will you use Thor or Dempsey in your commentary, says Kerr? Oh, it's tricky because, of course, Dwayne Vermeulen is known as the South African Thor, so people might get confused. I'd call him Big Hammer Dempsey if you like. Oh, nice set play there from Argentina. Actually going with a bit of an old school one, building up a wall and then playing it round behind. Julian Montoya now to the left-hand side. England's defence so far has been relatively solid, and Courtney Laws gets the turnover just out from his own try line. There you go, England, says Isabel. You think Fiji beats Australia? I think off this most recent Australian performance, I would say that it could be a lot closer, but off previous Australian form, you say Fiji had a real good shot. And I can see you've reached the 30,000 subscribers. Keep going, dude, says Zolani. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. Now George Ford will be able to kick this one towards the touchline. 23 minutes down. And Courtney Laws, what a game. Says Powerbite, yeah, he's been playing extremely well so far, getting over the breakdown twice, I believe, in this first 23 minutes. But Argentina, they've been throwing the kitchen sink at the English, and they just haven't quite been able to break through for that first try. Hello, Amish, says Maritz, welcome in. Well, Tupou is Tongan Thor. There's a lot of Thors around, isn't there? I feel like each country almost has their own Thor. And 19-9 for the Pumas is the full-time prediction from Stan and Chermakaz, says a Blues Nate there as well, but nicely taken. Well, that was actually Marco. Should say Courtney Laws claiming that line out. This rolling maul is rolling sideways at the moment, almost drifting towards the middle of the field. They've actually moved maybe about 25 metres to the side in this case, but Mitchell now decides to go back to the side where the line out took place, out to Elliot Daly. Argentina are able to shut him down relatively early, which they do need to, because with that a little bit of extra experience out on both wings with Johnny May and Elliot Daly, if they can keep them quiet, Argentina will have a real crack. Alex Mitchell rolling the ball back again, putting it high towards the 22, being chased hard by Daly, but the mark is called by Emiliano Boffelli. Again, after the France game, New Zealand will be 4, says it was Grant. And also there's only one Thor, and he's from South Africa. And some say Dempsey looks like Thor, but the squad chat, it's that factor in the hammer size that gives him that name, says Kerr. Now claimed by England just outside of their 22, run forward by was George Ford. Now Freddie Stewart contested in the air, doesn't quite slap it backwards, instead will knock it on. Argentina have the option of the scrum or the line out. Thanks for the excellent commentary. Says Adnan, thank you very much for being here. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Argentina decide to take it quickly, now firing it out wide to Mateo Carreras. Goes for the kick in behind it. He's kicked it straight out on the full. Massive mistake from Los Pumas there. And now England in a good attacking position on the park. Springboks to destroy England again in the final, 36-0. Says Gary, so you are back in England to make it to the final in that case, which I think is a lot more than some people are backing for the English side from New Jersey, USA. Thanks for the commentary, says Paul. No worries at all. And also we have got there our box to destroy England in the final 36-0. Vermeulen has been Thor for a decade. Those newcomers can be something else, says LB. I have a question. Who had it first, Dwayne Vermeulen or like the Marvel series for Thor? I guess the old comics probably had it first, didn't they? Now nicely taken by Maro Itoje. Another rolling maul attempt here for England. They are still about 35 metres out from Argentina's line, so they have a fair way to go for their first try of the Rugby World Cup. And that is one thing that people have criticised about England recently, is their lack of ability at times to get over that try line. They can score a relatively few amounts of three-pointers, but it's just getting those tries that I think if England can start putting that together, they can be extremely dangerous. Alice Gens driven backwards by Marcos Kremer by about 5 metres. Also now Alex Mitchell back into the pocket. Drop kick attempt here from George Ford. And it is over from George Ford. They have decided if we can't get over the try line, I guess it kind of helps prove my point where I said that they weren't able to score too many tries, but they have just got themselves a different form of points in the drop goal. Not much precision for Argentina, says Mikhail. A massive drop, he says LB. Yeah, he struck it from about 40 metres out, George Ford. Knew it was good from the get-go. What a play, says Jonesy in there. And also, we have got, thanks for the detailed commentary from Peter Maritzburg. And South Africa says it was Anya. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And Marvel says toxic in there as well. And Prime Johnny Wilkinson would be proud, says Rob. Yam Dam. It's a fun name, isn't it? Now Alex Mitchell rolling it back. England taking the lead, 6 points to 3. That looks very close to the touchline. Looks like Elliot Daly trying to slap that one back into the field of play, is able to do so, but then the knock-on comes from Ollie Chisholm. Argentina back in possession, trying to milk the penalty advantage. Gonzalo Berrano, and he's given away the penalty in the process. Trapping the player on the ground. And good decision, keep the scoreboard ticking, says Gary Smith. We have got there as well. Argentina don't seem to be clicking, says Kerr. Yeah, something's not quite working. I'm wondering whether or not it is that midfield combination. Santiago Chocabarez and Lucio Cinti. I mean, it normally works not too badly. Maybe if Matthias Maroni was at 13, that may help just a little bit more. I didn't know Ford could nudge it that far, says Grant. Yeah, you got a fair distance on it. George Ford. Nice natural bit of curl from right to left. Looks like Elliot Daly now is going to be lining up 3 points here from about 58 metres out. I would say it is Vamos Pumas, says Gabriel. And also, is that the first drop goal of the tournament? It certainly is. And I have a weird feeling that it's not going to be the last of the competition, seeing as we are only up to the 5th match. Still another 43 to go. Best commentary by far, much appreciated, says Shawal. Thank you very much. And with who are you going to win? Says Damon. At the moment, I'm still in the belief that one of these two sides will win it by less than 5 points, or 5 or less. It's just that massive question of who is it going to be that gets himself that victory. We have got the benches will impact this game heavily if it stays this tight until 60 minutes, says Kerr. Elliot Daly, it is going to be away to the left-hand side, just couldn't quite get it to bring self around. And now Argentina, they'll put themselves under pressure there. And Santiago Chocabarez kicks it into touch, only about maybe 20 metres out from the line. Now Marcus Smith on his feet off the bench, waiting for his opportunity to make his way onto the field. This game is extremely boring, says George. As Sam Cane finishing up at the end of the year, just wondering what the All Blacks 6, 7, 8 will be next year. I think he's getting close to the retirement for Sam Cane. Same with Sam Whitelock. If your name's Sam and you're in the All Blacks, it seems like maybe you are near the end of your test career. But Courtney Lord's having a bit of a juggle with that ball. Jamie George, tackled by Thomas Gulshaw, or Gushaw, I should say. Big shot coming in on Ben Earls. Now stepping around the side, Alex Mitchell with the pick and go. And a lot of big teams look rattled this World Cup for some reason, says Vitamin Green. I think it's just that pressure of being in a World Cup environment. You know, if you lose a few games, you're going home. And that can be heavily... Oh, they're going for the drop kick again from 50 metres out this time. George Ford, he's got the distance. It's gone over again. I just said that it wouldn't be the last that we saw in the World Cup. I didn't mean 5 minutes later. 30 minutes through, 6 more points. This is like old school. We used to play on Rugby 06 against England and they just kept on putting it back into the pocket and kept on tapping it over. And George Ford, the new Johnny Wilkinson, says power by no way, says okay. When was the last game we had that one individual side got 2 drop kicks in the same match? It's got to be a while, doesn't it? Now it's going to be kicked high. Nicely taken by Maru Atoje. Is this the key that England needed? Maybe they just needed to go for more drop kicks rather than going for the tries. And why do England play better with 14? Well, the thing is, theoretically, in the case of a drop kick, you don't really need to worry about playing with the 14. As long as you got the man in the pocket and the man passing it back to him. You find smart play from England. Almost seem to have accepted. They can only win from distance. Says Kerr. And now Gonzalo Berrano, knock on there from Matthias Alemano. Advantage in favour of England. George Ford now. They have got numbers on this right-hand side. Joe March and one more pass out to Elliot Daly. Rough passing. Goes out to Johnny May. He's getting a bit of a cuddle from Mateo Carreras. They're not letting the ball go. They are going back for the initial penalty to Argentina. You wouldn't let them play quickly is the comment from Matthew Reynell. So England penalised rather than the Argentine line-out. And also we've got the Henry Ford kicked a few goals, says Peter. And the last game was Valimza against England last year. He had 2 drop goals, says Venster. And at the moment it seems like England trying to set that new record perhaps for recent times. Rugby World Cup is the cameo time for the little-known droppy, says a Matthew. Argentina, their handling has been letting them down just a little bit in this game. England, they've decided if they can't get it right with their backline, they might as well keep on getting the points when they do get the opportunity. Link to the live game, says Denzel. If you go on the Rugby World Cup website, you will be able to see whereabouts you can watch these games from, which will be the best bet because depending on whereabouts you are in the world will depend on your options. There you have got DJ Spud's 5 drop kicks, says Stretch Fletcher. WGF, he was playing the advantage. Should have been England's ball, says Scott. So yeah, I think it was the penalty, or it was the knock-on advantage, but because England gave away a penalty, that overrules the knock-on advantage. Now Argentina, with Pablo Matera trying to break through, 22 metres out from the line now for Argentina with 7 minutes remaining in the half. Really having a huge amount of space available for Gonzalo Berrano on this right-hand side. Sinti close to being out. Elliot Daly not quite able to get him off the field. Julian Montoya, short ball. Seems like England's rush defence has really caused Argentina problems throughout this first 33 minutes. Now they're dropping it back into the pocket. Drop kick attempt from Argentina. This one's wonky though. They decided anything that England can do, we would try and do better, but has not paid off for Santiago Carreras. I think his team are a little bit annoyed about him now. Trying that one. And hats off to Ford. An ugly win is still a win. Says Kerr there. And I gave Fletcher to DJ Spuds. And also we have got there one more drop kick. It's a try deficit. Exactly right. And already it is the equivalent of a non-successful converted try. Just that little bit more with 6 points. Carreras, he was from 50 out. So that would have been probably a little bit longer than the George Ford attempted droppies so far. What's with the drop goals play the game, says Emma. And there, although England, like I said, they've almost accepted the fact that they are struggling to score tries, so they need to get some form of points. And the drop kicks, Freddie Stewart's just knocked his face into the ground. It did not look too flash. It's going to be play on just for now. Note now it becomes the penalty to England for the player being taken out in the air. Are they going to check this one? Come on, England, says Pubs. And also it's pretty bad that Argentina have to resort to a drop goal. And when they have the numbers advantage, says Jonesy. And also we have, it's an ugly landing for Freddie Stewart. Almost ended up over-rotating. Pablo Matera, the man, has been penalised for that one. As Gold England got their 9. Now here come the Jaguares, says Stan. Okay. George Ford just confirming whereabouts that mark was. Michael Cheika not looking happy at the moment in the coaching box. Have to be careful with this discipline now as well. The French flag from Mithion. Hopefully I said that correctly. And he was just hungry. Says, okay, and vamos a Inglaterra. Hopefully I've said that correctly also. But quite a few English supporters in attendance. I saw quite a few Argentine kits a bit earlier on also. England now 15 metres out from the line. An opportunity to get themselves their first try. Now they are sitting on 9, so they've got the drop kick to fall back on just in case. If they are inside of the 22 and they feel that they aren't making metres, although this is the perfect chance to drive forward. Use the power of the forward pack. Although currently wasn't making a huge amount of distance. Jamie George breaks off the back. We see him do that often for Saracens in the Gallagher Premiership. That competition starting up actually before the end of the Rugby World Cup. So there's going to be a few sides with experimental teams in the first couple of rounds. Amaro Toje 10 metres out from the line, tackled by Crema. Mitchell back into the pocket. It's going to be another drop kick from England. George Ford gets it over. That is now the equivalent of 9 points from the English drop kicks. That one's probably going to be the least popular of the drop kickies, or the drop kicks, I would say, mainly because they had a decent attacking opportunity, but they'll say 3 points is 3 points. 3 drop kicks from George Ford. Argentina, they don't seem to know how to counter this at the moment. And he says Stan, and try, says Denzel. Joe Marley yelling at the crowd, telling them to fire up. They're going, Joe, score a try. Now, short kick off from Argentina, trying to retain their own ball, just a marginal knock on there. And also Johnny Fordkinson says cited, and also we've got their wrong call again. Well, let's see. Now Ford's going for a record here. I wonder if anyone had George Ford scoring a dropkick hat-trick. Yeah, that is something if anyone has him in their like super team or whatever it's called for the fantasy side of things, surely dropkicks are worth a few points in that regard. Scotland have a 19 kg weight advantage in the front 5, 17 kgs less when you add in the back row. Big Bok at 6, 7 and 8, just saying. Says Kerr. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game tomorrow when those two sides take on each other. We will be covering it on the channel as well, so anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road now to 31,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Let's see where we can get to by the end of the stream. 37 minutes down. England have got themselves a 12 points to 3 lead. Now, anyone who tunes in now will say, okay, they had a try that was converted and a try that was unsuccessful. Little do they know, 3 drop kicks in this one from the English. How do you defend against a drop goal, says Yvonne? I think you just have to try and stop them getting inside of drop kicking territory or range, which at the moment for George Ford, it seems like he can kick it from anywhere inside of the half. Matthew Ray now just having a bit of a chat there with Julia Montoya. And we have got the incredible England performance so far, says Wise One. And Rugby World Cup is about winning. If it's by droppies, do it, says Matthew. And yeah, that's the thing. There's going to be some intense games of Pool D. And England have realised that. They know that no matter what, they can't afford to let Argentina get themselves the victory here, because if they do, that could be the difference between making it through and missing out. Can we add Mars Botha in a fantasy team? Never has there been a better 13 ever, says Stan. And Saracens lost their game in the Championship Cup to Commentary. Says it was Gwen 4. Hopefully I said that correctly. And also we've got England playing like South Africa in the 90s, says Denzel. Now the scrum feed, successful this time for England, but they haven't got themselves the advantage. George Ford kicking it from inside of his own half down towards the Argentine 22. Only 2.5 minutes remaining. Kick deep. Mark will be taken by George Ford, and England will slow this down. We have got England has played well. Says Lionheart and Ayakar BC, a fly half, then spent a while yelling at the Italians when I found out that Allen was kicking. Still thinking Sexton was the best choice for fly half fantasy so far. Says Vince, yeah, scoring himself 2 tries. Relatively accurate off the kicking boot as well for Johnny Sexton. I mean, he did miss a couple, but having those 2 tries will certainly make up for it. In that regard, I still can't believe that we've had 6 players that have scored themselves 2 or more tries. Well, just 2 tries. We haven't had a hat-trick as of yet. From this game, I don't think we're getting one in this one. We've had a hat-trick of drop kicks, but not in the try department. Now, Julia Montoya, 1 minute 30 remaining in the first half, throwing to the front, little bit of a set play there, goes off to Pablo Matera, who is held well by Courtney Laws. Gonzalo Bertrano going off to the right-hand side now. Thomas Lavanini, big contact coming in on him. Got to be C. Or loose ball in the breakdown, though, from Argentina means that Maru Itoje and England have ended up back with the ball. Panthers need to ask to their 3 points before halftime. Says Kerr, and my prediction on Super Roo is England win by 12, so let's see. Says Shawal. Playing the advantage for England because of the knock-on. He read my comment. Thank you, new subs. Says Tay Cook in there as well. I do try my best to read every single comment. Sometimes they do go very quick, though, so I do have to miss the occasional one, sadly. But anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to the 31,000 subscriber mark. You will get notified when we do release new videos, which will include lineups for different games. Also, the live streams tomorrow. We've got Japan versus Chile, South Africa versus Scotland, and also Wales versus Fiji. We have got there in the chat as well. Sky Sports jumping up and down. Says Denzel, they're showing there Tom Curry, the man who did get red carded earlier on in the game. Sadly will not be returning for the rest of the match. Only 5 seconds remaining here. England's still inside of their own half, so they might just look to get this ball in, kick it into touch, and accept a 9-point lead going into halftime, and that is exactly what they do. 12 points to 3, a tryless first half between these two sides. What you guess for the final result, says Matthew. I'm still going with less than 5 points between these two sides at the end of the game. I believe Argentina will be able to score themselves at least one try in the second half. It's whether or not England are able to do the same or continue extending their lead with those drop kicks and penalties. And time your comments well, boys, says okay. And also we have got there the France flags from Mathioni. And there as well, second half Pumas to win. Says Denzel, and England will be very happy so far, says Kurt. Definitely because they've been playing with 14 men out there on the field. So the fact that they've got themselves a 9-point lead up against a 15-man Argentina, they'll walk away from that first half going, right, if we can do that again in the second half, we might be in a decent position to go on to win this game. We have got a donation again from Red. Great vibe, mate. From all us South Africans out there enjoying red wine and your skilled input during load shedding. Dunky Amish, moi man, says, I read there. Thank you very much for your donation, mate. Hugely appreciated. You guys have been extremely generous throughout this Rugby World Cup. I feel very privileged to have you all here for these live streams. We've got the clapping from Kerr in there as well. I feel like that's the case of game recognising game, isn't it, Kerr? And that one altering my score to 12 to 24 for the Jaguares. Pumas to win with at least 10, and someone smashed that. Not humble title Ivasana jokes from a keyboard warrior off topic. Says Nazi Williams. Tell you who I do want to see lose, though, in the UFC. I know that I'm normally impartial, but the fellow who was supposed to be fighting Kai Kara France, who was just absolutely going off in the press conference. I don't even remember his name. He's got like a 18-6 record, so it's not that flash, but yeah, he was trying to start a fight with everyone. So now I'm kind of hoping that that young Brazilian will be able to get himself the win. I'm dummy. How do you donate money? Says Nazi Williams. I believe, unless they have changed it, which they may have, because I know that YouTube had an update more recently. I think it's in the chat bottom right corner or bottom left corner. There's a little dollar sign thingy that it has got. On there, on what AB says Ruth. And also we have got there Hamish, who was the greatest Puma kicker. Ooh. See, I don't really know a lot of the old school Argentine players, so for me it's probably, like, I know it's really recently, but Nicolas Sanchez, with the amount of experience that he has been able to get under his belt for Argentina, when he was in his prime, he was absolutely phenomenal. We have got there, James has said, FFS, make it stop, I can't take any more of this. Is that the drop kicks or my voice, James? Because it might be a bit of both. Perhaps, and I'd love to donate, but Chris Hipkins making a heart at the moment for us, says Marco. It's no worries at all. And what a great way to begin my morning, guys. Says Simran, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. I've seen no tries scored throughout this first half, but I am hoping second half we get to see at least one. And I feel like it's going to be Argentina that score it. I've just got that little bit of a feeling. Hernandez was good. We have got a donation from Stan Bolson as well, the South African Rand. And there, thank you very much, Stan. Hugely appreciated. I have drunk way too much water today. I feel like I'm going to be walking and you'll be able to hear it sloshing because I've probably filled up to water about here. Sorry, mate, it's late in the evening. I fell asleep because this game's so boring, says Jose. That is fair enough. I mean, some people enjoy seeing tries and those people wouldn't have liked the first half. And Adesanya's getting knocked out, says Denzel. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. See him go up against Sean Strickland because Sean Strickland I think there were more people cheering for him than Adesanya in Australia, which is quite funny. What was the scores in the other games, says Kevin? I can show them, but I will warn everyone right now, I'm about to put a whole heap of spoilers up on the screen. So if you don't want to know what the scores were in the other games, we've also got Stan becoming a channel member. There we go. So if you don't want to know it, close your eyes, look away for, I'd say 60 seconds. Give me 60 seconds to explain what has happened throughout the other games, and then I guess unblock your ears and we'll be good to go. So the other games that we have seen of the Rugby World Cup, in the opening game of Pool A, it was France versus New Zealand, and the All Blacks, they were defeated 27 points to 13. France getting themselves the 4 points, or in fact, they got the 4 points in that game up against the All Blacks, as they weren't quite able to score enough tries to get the bonus point. Italy, they were able to beat Namibia 52 points to 8. So they received the bonus point there. Ireland, they were able to get themselves a bit of a comfortable win over Romania, 82 points to 8. And then Australia getting themselves their first win under the coaching of Eddie Jones, 35 points to 15. Possession in that first half for England and Argentina, 54% in favour of the English. But I will also show, just while we are at the pools. So this is the way Pool A sits after round 1. Italy are at the top of the bunch. Ireland sitting at the top of their group, and I believe that is the way that it will stay at the end of round number 1, seeing as the Springboks, they've got a much more challenging game up against the Scottish. And then when we look through at Pool C, we now know that Australia are at the top of the bunch, getting themselves the 5 points as well. But they are just showing one of the talking points of that first half, which did involve the red card of Tom Curry. We also saw a yellow card for Santiago Carreras. I cannot believe it. I put $100 on the Argentina to win 13 and over, and they better win with 14 men, says Hierro. And also we have got there, Strickland has no chance, says Wise One. The thing with Sean Strickland is if he can get one good shot onto the chin of Adesanya, that is his best bet. We saw that with Alex Pereira, but the chances of getting that good shot are very slim for him before getting caught. Definitely with the way that he walks forward like this, I think Adesanya is going to piece him up a little bit throughout that one. Amazing. You are commentating. I'm getting tired listening to the third match, says Patricia Black. And also George Ford carrying this English squad. And also we have got there, welcome to the club, says Kerr. We've also got a donation from Marco Vinopoli. Here's my donation. Now my kids will have to eat grass clippings for the rest of the week. I feel bad, Marco. I have to send you another Bunnings gift voucher, like I did for, I think it was your birthday last time. I think it was just a random occasion. Okay, everyone's just going a bit crazy at the moment. We've got a donation from Sam. We've got a donation from Stan as well. Thank you very much, Stan. Hugely appreciated. Sam has put subscriber number 25 here. Well done on the growth of your channel. Yeah, it is hugely appreciated. We're sitting 30,000 now, which is absolutely incredible. So it's all down to you guys, though. I can't hit the subscribe button myself 30,000 times. That would take a lot of effort, and I think that's not allowed on YouTube. So yeah, that's hugely appreciated, you all being here for these live streams all throughout the night. We've got plenty more coming up in the near future. And also, the more the drop kicks, the more the donations, says JP. Are we going to see more drop kicks in the second half, I think is the massive question. I want to say no, but I have a feeling that there's a chance that if it works in the first half and they aren't able to shut it down, they might consider going for it in the second half as well. England is not playing rugby, but just drop goals. Some would consider drop goals as rugby because at the end of the day, they want to walk away with a victory, and that may be their best chance of being able to do so. If Ford is carrying with these drop goals, I would love to see 3 more, says Wise One. A chance Island going all the way, says Jay. And to be honest, for England, these drop kicks, they're working in this case, but I have a feeling that by the time we get to those quarterfinals, they will need to find a way of scoring more tries. And yes, it's working for now. I'm just thinking into those future games, if they end up going head-to-head with, let's say, either Australia, or they end up going head-to-head, Fiji might be an interesting game if they go back-to-back. You'll be glad the burpee challenge is not in play today, or burpee challenge is not in play today. Very happy indeed, because or else that would be a lot of them. That is for sure. Ideal drinking game, says Richard. A broken drop kick from this from his half. Of course he's going to be a drop kick, says okay. And also we look there in the chat, Dominguez was a decent Argentine 10 mind. And also new game, every time there is a drop kick, donate, says JP. Tell you what, by the end of this game, if England continue with the same tactic, we'll be able to take the day off on Monday. Not from the live streaming, just from building on Monday morning. Too early to predict who's going to win World Cup, says Samuel. And this is the weirdest Argentina, or the worst Argentina team against 14 men too, says Jay. And also we've got the Contipomi for Kicking Panther, says Kerr. But the Argentines just getting a bit of a firing up from their coaches saying, boys, we have the advantage. Let's start to use it. Try and charge down that drop kick. Because he's going to do it every day of the week. The English, looks like they have got the forwards in one huddle, the backs in the other. They are having separate conversations. Looking through at the benches, we'll show you exactly who is available for England. It is Dan, Joe Marler and Will Stewart. Marler was absolutely loving the drop kicks in that first half. Martin and Ludlam as the 19 and 20. Danny Keir, Marcus Smith and Ollie Lawrence. At number 23 for Argentina, Augustin Crevi, Joel Scalevi and Eduardo Bello. And also in there, Guido Petit, Rubiolo, I should say, Rodrigo Bruni. They have gone with the 6-2 split of the bench Argentina. Bazin Velez at 22 and Matthias Maroni at number 23. I have got another donation from Marco. There was no drop kick though, Marco. Here's another. Now I have to sell my rear end on the Dark Street corner to pay for this. I don't know why, but it's funnier because you've got Marco Vunipola as your pitcher and England are playing. I feel like the timing of it is just... Is he in the English squad, Marco Vunipola, or is he injured? And works for this game, says Richard. And also we'll get there too early to predict who's going to win the World Cup, says Samuel. And sorry to be a downer, but it's very sad to watch the slow death of the sport I used to love, says Richard. And fastest game in the world in the 70s, past the parcel in a Belfast pub. And I think Argentina will be will be told to go out in the second half and put the monster hit on forward, says Kerr. And Adesanya overhated, fight me, says Rob Yamdam. He does get a lot of stick, doesn't he, Adesanya? But at times he does, I'm not going to say deserve it, but he does warrant it in some cases. Like when Drakus ended up winning his fight, and then all Adesanya did was just go in the ring or the octagon and just pretty much sledge him the whole time. Who got red carded? It was Tom Curry, the man who got penalised. Come on, guys, challenge to equal my donation. Where would you be without Amish challenge? Says Stan in there as well. Oh, the voice is going. I can give out memberships, but I can't donate on Google Play, says Robert. And also, you don't want to know what I did for my donations. Your kid's been on a cruise ship for a while, and them sailors get lonely, don't they? And Adesanya's overhated, I agree, says Wise One. And also we have got their world record of drop goals as 5 by Yanni Dabir against England. Okay, so George Ford could match that if he's able to get himself 2 more. So is that by an individual player or in an individual game? Like, did someone come on the bench or come off the bench and then go for the drop kicks as well? And Rakers is going to drop Adesanya, says Cluin. And who is going to win the match? England 37%, Argentina 58%. Meanwhile, England 12, 3 Argentina, says Day Cook. And also we have got there, Tom Curry was called in late and kicked out early, says Brian. Your Afrikaans pronunciation is not bad at all. Well done, says Rudy. Thank you very much, mate. We got a £10 super. You guys, is it because everyone stayed up all night watching the Rugby World Cup? So now everyone's like sleep deprived, so they're all being very generous. Well, thank you very much, Nazi Williams. Super sticker from yourself. They're just, mate, is that because they're showing highlights of the drop kicks? And you guys are watching the replays, thinking that they're new ones. We have got there, what is a bench? I assume you're talking about the bench. It's the Kiwi accent, you know, like fish and chips. You need to watch the Yanni Dabir drop goal test against England. It was epic, says Stan. And also we have got there, in the chat, England can thank Tom Curry for winning this one, says okay. And also Curry's red will be downgraded after the game, says Krampus. He has the last laugh all the way to the bank. Let's go. Adesanya, says Patriots Club. Or sorry, Patrons Club. It is, but now they are just showing the crowd. Still looking relatively intrigued in what is going to happen throughout the second half of rugby. It's couple Teletubbies. Which ones are they? Which one's the yellow Teletubby and which one's the green? Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe. I know the names of them, but I don't know which one was which colour. There's a couple of people in the scream masks as well. You can only win with drop goals. No with real rugby, says Valentin. And also we have their Drickus Duplessis as an absolute weapon, says Bystander. And also laying down the donation challenge, says Kerr. In there as well. I'm concerned now for the second half. I hope England don't go out and just go for a whole heap of the droppies. I think a try would be more surprising in the second half than a drop kick. Where did you get your brain from? Says, okay, I only borrowed it mainly because I couldn't afford to buy it outright, so I kind of rent it for a little bit, but I have to give it back after the World Cup. Now, Jorge Montoya leading his side out onto the field. Yes, that Larkham took us out next game with his first ever international drop goal, says Herman. And a lot of stars and only play with drops, says Valentin. And also we have got there Mr. Rental. yeah, Mr. Rentals. They did a good price on that one. And when the Pumas give you attitude, drop it like it's hard. Drop it like it's hard, says Sight in the morning, says Amelia. Welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. And some beautiful looking Argentinian women in the crowd, says Marco. You watching this by yourself, Marco? Hopefully your wife isn't also tuning in. Although she may agree. And everybody agrees it was an accidental rugby incident. I agree with you in this case, Krampus. And Purple One died from... did it? Which one was that? Was that Tinky Winky? Tinky Winky, is that the name of the big one? Or they were different sizes, weren't they? Poe was the little red one. It was absolutely rampage. I'm sure Poe was on crack. The second half underway, ladies and gentlemen. Argentina will be receiving the kickoff from the English. What do we get to see in the second 40 minutes in this fixture? Nicely taken. I believe that is going to be Guido Petty, and he breaks the line already. Tries to find the offload. It's a knock-on, though. Or is it? No, they've said it's gone backwards. It does not matter how you feel about a drop kick. Keeps the score ticking. It certainly does, and it's an effective tactic for the English here. I just worry that when they go up against a side that has a lot of try-scoring ability, it could end up just costing them a little bit if they aren't able to get those tries alongside. Plus, it's extremely fun to drop a ball between the posts, says Dylan. It is. I'm normally not that great at it. I think we actually did a video on it during the Rugby Championship 2 years ago. I think I went to the local rugby ground and tried to test it out. Although yesterday France win, today is England win. I am genius, says ST. If you want, I guess. 8 more drop kicks probably, says Seafent. And Dipsy was green, says Georgie. And Lala was yellow. So Tinky Winky was the purple one, wasn't it? And their vacuum cleaner sucked up the pink stuff on the Teletubbies. And I wish you are a star, mate. Keep it up, champ, says Chizola. Thank you very much. Or Chizola, I should say. Yeah, also got there. Did England win, says Richard. We are still only just starting the second half. There are still 38 minutes remaining. England, they have got themselves 3 drop kicks, 1 penalty. The Argentines just getting the 1 penalty over so far. Bebop Williams, or Bebop Williams, says it. Howdy, Kiwi lad. How you doing, mate? Doing very well, mate. You are also keeping well. Keith Thurles goes across to Joe March, and they're on the halfway line, which means that they're in the danger zone for the droppy, although it looks like George Ford having to join that breakdown. Same with Alex Mitchell. I don't think they quite knew who they wanted to have actually take that one off the back, so it is going to be Alice Genge. Who breaks the dropkick record? I would Dutch oven my wife for a week. It's very unfortunate for your wife, isn't it? They're going to be rolling it back now for Alex Mitchell. Puts up the box kick, trying to get into the right position on the field. Oh, he's landed on his face and fallen really badly and rolled over as well in the process. And I wish have all the Kiwis recovered yet, says DK. I am not too sure. I haven't actually read anything about the Kiwis in terms of what has happened since that game. I have been editing and then also sleeping for like 2 hours and then streaming the rest of the time. This is bad streaming, says Fujiko. Well, the good news is you don't have to watch it. I'm not going to sue you if you leave. Worst Pumas game of all time, says Javi Marulu. Yeah, they just haven't been able to get their momentum flying. And it's actually reminded me of how the All Blacks have been playing recently, how the handling errors have been hurting them. Alongside that, there has also been the penalty count, which has been starting to get relatively high. Oh, he FaceTimed the ground, says Sided. He did. He pretty much slid his face on the turf. Okay, bye, says Fujiko. See you later. Hope you enjoy the World Cup. I assume we won't see you back, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the rugby. And Kiwis in New Zealand all recovered too, says DK. And Argentina already lost. They lose heart fast. And now New Zealand wake up and beat the island too. Up to England to see if the Tier 2 nation can win one. And the first round, says Brett. Now scrum feed in favour of England. Where's George Ford going to be? That's the big question at the moment, because I feel like the game is heavily based around him, but he seems to be slotting over drop kicks from no matter where he is out there on the field. A little bit shaky there. But too much movement. I think Crema and also Courtney Laws just having a bit of a chat on the near side of the field, having a laugh about it. Lala was in yellow, says Pieta. And also we have got there Yanni De Beer kicked 5 drop goals in a quarterfinal against England in 1999. Says Morne Lorraine Grange. I believe that would have been before I was born that took place. Just because if the World Cup, I assume it was in September or somewhere around there, I wouldn't have actually been born at that last time that we had a World Cup drop kicking record. And Argentina is not understanding rugby. Says ST. Yeah, unfortunately, anytime they try and build up the momentum, it just doesn't seem like their handling is going to allow them to actually put together a backline movement. Now Benel goes off onto the short side. Look for the grubber in behind. It was a risky option, but Courtney Laws manages to pick it up. They are now 22 metres out from the line. Alex Mitchell firing it back across to Jamie George. Big contact. George Ford, he's not quite back in the pocket as of yet, or is he? He's starting to drop back. There's an advantage. Ford in the pocket, but they wouldn't give it back. So instead, I believe it will be the easy 3 points for England. I think Argentina did absolutely everything they could to keep that ball in the breakdown. Zinzan Brook, says Roof there. Yeah, his drop kick from around the halfway line. Absolutely awesome one. Back in the day, supporting England. Come on, lad, says Dave. Right, they will take on the 3 points. Hamish not being born in 1999 makes me feel old, says Grant. Although I did sneak in just at the end of 1999 in December. So I am a 90s child. So I guess that's something. Didn't quite sneak into the 2000s. I was too quick for that. Why Argentina is not understanding rugby, says Juan Cruz de Prado. And also Argentina a rubbish night. England showing the Bulldogs spirit. Oh, so you were just a wee one. No, not quite. Well, at some stage throughout 1999, I guess. You know, New Zealand heartbreaking. That why All Blacks ready to Ireland semi-final, says Clarsons. You're only 23, says Yvonne. Is that because I look way older? I look like I've seen some stuff. That's going to be over, though. The penalty is successful. 15 points to 3 now in favour of the English. Nobody will beat Bok Francois Steyn. When it comes to distance drop kicking, says productivity by design. Pablo Matera, the face there said it all. He kind of looked confused and almost looked defeated in terms of what can we do to stop England from taking these threes. First of all, they need to stop giving away penalties. Now Argentina once again going for the tactic of only kicking at the 10 metres, and Marcos Crema has been able to claim it. First knock on England, second from Argentina. The slipperiness of the ball, just leaving the hand. No, it's because you're very committed. Most 23-year-olds party all weekend, says Yvonne. Yeah, and then I'm here staying up for 30 hours doing streaming. I feel like I'm the one who's having more fun though. You know? Although I probably end up hungover from tiredness rather than hungover from alcohol. How much do one of those tickets cost? They won't even go for the try, even though they lead by 9. The English even stop singing, says JP. And Argentina could still take this. It is true. There is still time left on the clock. Couple tries for the Argentines. And I believe that at the moment they are the more likely team to be able to cross the try line. Oh yeah, this is a party, says okay. And if Pumas end second in the pool, who will they play in the quarters? More than likely Australia, with the way that that pool is currently sitting. But that can, of course, change depending on how it progresses with a few of those other games. Knock on from Santiago Chocha-Barres. It was a simple catch. And unfortunately, the under-9s, they might be looking like the better option there in the midfield. Stop talking, show us the real game, says Ronald. Well, sadly, Ronald, I would get sued. So you will have to go onto the Rugby World Cup website, and then you'll be able to see whereabouts you can watch it from. It's more than likely free to air where you are. Why you're not doing NPC rugby, says Tama? Only because I've probably, at some of the times that those games are taking place, I've been up for over 24 hours, so I do have to rest at some point. And they can afford to throw this one, says Stan. And also, we've got there go England crush them, says Tarsus. But I would like to do some of the NPC. Unfortunately, with the Rugby World Cup schedule, though, it has meant that I possibly should have done a few of the first rounds of the competition rather than leaving it towards the end. Now I feel old, bruh, or bud, says Gary. Now Alice Mitchell, feed the ball in for the English. Oh, it's gone down again. And England get themselves another penalty at scrum time. Hello, India, and enjoy this game. Says ST and England have looked the better team, says us. And Northern Hemisphere refs TMO will dictate results, especially yellow and red cards. Inconsistencies and inaccuracies are shocking. Argentina can't hold on to the ball. Not looking like try scorers at the moment. We have got there, get yourself a girlfriend, you age quicker, says Trade Masters. And Argentina bottling it. No collar and tie today, thanks for the commentary. Somewhat more exciting than the match. Yeah, it's just a shame that we haven't really seen Argentina put on the performance that we thought they had the possibility of doing. They scored 63 points against Spain in their last outing, but in this contest, they are looking like maybe double figures may be quite the task. And yep, definitely bottling it, says Blib Blib. Now, thrown in nicely by Jamie George. Alex Mitchell going to the short side, sells the dummy. Oh, he's passed it straight into touch. These boys are wearing blindfolds out there on the field at the moment. They don't seem to know who's on their team and who's not. Mitchell, great piercing run to create the line break. Just to waste it by chucking the ball out. We've got a pommy loose. Hold your breath. Says, okay, and Argentina giving me All Blacks vibes right now, and the Pumas have lost this game, says Dylan. Yeah, great run from Alex Mitchell. Throws the ball to the kneecaps, if not maybe the ankles, of the man on his outside. Dan Cole making his way off the field. That is going to be for Will Stewart. It's Joe Marler also making his way out there for Alice Genge. I do not believe so. It is just Dan Cole being subbed at this point. Should mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 31,000 subscribers. We are seeing how far we can get by the end of round number 1. So if you do want to help us out, if you do want to be notified when we do upload, as well as do these live streams, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Michael Cheika seriously needs to get on the field and wake his team up, says DK. And we have got their snooze fest of a game, says Kelmac. I think almost the fact that we've had 3 drop kicks have made it weirdly, like, almost entertaining in the opposite way, if that makes sense, just because no one was expecting it to be that case. But I'm hoping Argentina can at least get close in this game so that we are going down to the wire. Jill Scalavi making his way onto the field. That is for Gomez Cordero and also Rubiolo on there for Thomas Lavanini. Now rolling it back. Gonzalo Bertrano. Puts it high. Down the middle of the field. Nicely taken. Oh, what's that? Elliot Daly is just... That's gone forward, ref. Argentina, though. They've knocked the ball on again. Okay. No one wants to hold the ball. Please, please, please. You have to do a tie-in with Aussie Man for at least one match. Aussie Man Reviews. I think his channel is a bit bigger than us. He's got a few million subscribers. So I don't think he'd get back to me. To be honest, the wing passed the ball into the ground. He did. And he probably got very lucky that it wasn't called as a knock-on. That was weird, says Fiji Islander. Now it's gone into touch. Argentina on the halfway line do have themselves the scrum. Saying it must be a bit slippery. No way, that was backwards, says Brian. Crowd are not happy about it one bit. Joe Marler looks like he is warming up, getting ready to make his way onto the field. And smash, says Fiji Islander. And England are patting these Pumas to sleep. Nicely taken by Juan Matan Gonzalez. Now big shot coming in from Manu Tuolangi. That's the first time we've seen him in this game. He has been in hibernation for 51 minutes, but now he's finally decided he wants to do something out on the park. Although, to be fair, every time they go to George Ford, he does a drop kick, so it never gets out to the man at inside centre. Still waiting on rugby to be played, says Dirk. Now back across the right-hand side. Carreras, rush defence there from England. And Mauro Atoje making it awkward in the breakdown. Burrano once again takes a knee. And the fact that England was doing this with 14 men is amazing, says Trademasters. Best live streaming channel, says Lawrence. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciate it. We have got plenty more coming later on tonight. We have got, it's another penalty to the English. In the breakdown, right, they're 12 points ahead. They'll probably take the 3 points to get to 15 ahead, and then that may be when they start looking for the corner. Just manufacture a good ball stop. AI designs, you have take. Says B. Goldberg, and also we have got there, this England team are not the same. This team is back, says Damon. They will be lining up the 3 points once more. Here's a question, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last game that there wasn't a try scored in a Rugby World Cup fixture? Does anyone know that information? I feel like it would have been a wee while ago. I can see it in how they are playing, says Damon. Didn't expect this from England. I had Argentina as my favourite, says Jack. No offside calls against England tonight, says Brian. And another try, and they still won't go for the try. Or another penalty, and they still won't go for the try, says JP. Now, George Ford. Starting to feel like the last few years were a bad dream, says Jonesy. Seems all the games thus far are all smoke and mirrors. The kick is successful. 18 points now to 3. England extending their lead. And whatever game England play in last, says C-Fence. To be honest, if you're an impartial observer, this game is a little average, but at least if you're an English or an Argentine, it is a knee-trembling stuff, says Akaris. And Kia ora, Hamish, says Vinny. And also Australia versus Wales 2015, 15-6, I think it was. Says Venster, you might be right there. Because I don't think we had any in 2019, did we, how neither side were able to get themselves tries. But of course, this game, we have still got time left. Here comes Manu Tuolangi. Driving at Marcos Crema. And they have awoken while Argentina went to sleep. Who won against Australia versus Georgia. So Australia, they managed to get themselves the victory, 35 points to 15. Now, nicely taken. Down towards the halfway line again for the English. Good kick from Alex Mitchell. He's stepped up at number 9, to be fair, in this game. He hasn't had too bad of a showing. France does not beat England or Argentina, says Gustavo. And also we've got there England going to the quarterfinals, says Blues Nate. I think Alice Genge, just sculled a bottle of water and just threw it on the ground. Make proper rugby balls, include weather conditions. Stop using AI designs. Rugby players are not robots, says B. Goldberg. Right, it's turned into a free kick in favour of England now rather than the line out being in favour of Argentina. And Argentina are like lost farts here, says Brian. And Peter Wild, bloody good memory, mate. A fair play to you, says Kerno Wick in there. As well, what happened to Argentina? They just haven't been able to find their feet throughout this game. England have been getting a lot of penalties, which has led to a lot of points being scored. So far, 6 have been taken in terms of the penalties and also the drop kicks, 3 and 3. Argentina just dropping the ball way too often. The conditions, I mean, they are slippery, but I still would have liked to think that they'd hang on to the ball a bit better than they have. And also we have got there Les Le Bleu, Cesar Nicholas. Now Alex Mitchell feeds the ball, and I believe they will try and use Earl off the back once more. Ball is available. And now George Ford puts the up and under up rather than the drop kick. Now using the kicking tactics once more. Well taken at the back by Juan Cruz Malia. Now kicking it downfield. A moment. Kick has gone out on the full. for the English. That time George Ford making the mistake, which is a rarity from tonight. He has had a pretty solid game. Overall, draw, says Gustavo. I mean, there is still a chance, but it's very small at the moment with the amount of threes that we are seeing taken. For carrying his whole team, says Yvonne. Argentina lose their own line out. Maro Itoje ends up with the ball again. England, just possession-wise, have been having so much more than Los Pumas in this game. 2-try deficit, says okay. And Argentina are out of ideas. Says Brian, that will be knocked on this time. Penalty goes the way of England. Please. Right. In this scenario, you have a 15-point lead. Kick it for the corner? Surely. Surely. If they don't, I mean, I'd be sad if they didn't, but what's the plan? Oh, they're kicking for the posts. Oh well. I thought, 15 points ahead. You at least try and score a try, Their scoreline along I say, says Jonesy. Now, will it be a kick? They are going for the goal kick here, yes. For the George Ford. And Ford's going to have a sore back after this. We have got there, Amish. Have you fitted a catheter? Or do you consume the amount of water and not stand up? Says Stan, I strategically go in between live streams. Plus, no, I was going to say plus I have a spare bottle, but that is not true. But 20 seconds now on the shot clock for George Ford. It sounds bad to say, but I kind of want him to miss, but he's going to get it over more than likely. Yeah, it has gone over. 21 points to 3. At some stage soon, England will have to possibly decide to start considering 3 points. Of course, they are the tyranny of English rugby, and Argentina don't look like scoring a try at all tonight, unfortunately, and down to 14 men. Just taking time off the clock, says John Warren. And can they at least make it interesting by taking a tap and go? Going for the drop goal, says Venster. It's my birthday, says JP. Happy birthday, mate. I hope you do have an enjoyable day. A few more games of rugby taking place a bit later on. I see that Martin is on the field now for Chisholm, and Danny Kerr is now going to be out onto the field. Another knock on from Argentina. England looking to use this one to the left-hand side, inside of their own half, and score trust, says Jonesy, and take the 3 every time when you are down a man or more, says Kerno Wick. And also we've got that this game is not as exciting to listen to, but you are doing great, Hamish, though, says Vinny. Now, everyone's missed that one, going up for it like they're playing AFL. Juan Cruz Malia, here come Argentina, surely. Oh, that was almost a foot trip from Joe Marsh, and that's one way to drag him down. Juan Cruz Malia again has to jump onto the ground to grab that ball for Los Pumas. Wide cutout pass. Here comes Mateo Carreras on the halfway line. Big fend going onto George Ford. They are now inside of English territory. Marcos Crema. I don't think Argentina have put together 5 phases in this game without dropping the ball. Can they do it this time? Short ball. Rodrigo Bruni manages to hang on to it, but England get themselves the turnover penalty. It's Ben Earl who gets over it. It's from about 53 metres out. Maybe just outside of George Ford's range. I hope. This looks so much like a thrown game to benefit the semis. Says Stan. What does George Ford decide now? He's looking at the post. Please can Argentina be investigated for match fixing? They will go for the 3, but this time it's Elliot Daly who does get the nod. The thing is, though, it's 7 3-pointers, but this is a decent score now for England. Like, on paper, if you hadn't watched the game, you'd be like, oh, yeah, they went nicely. This looked rigged. Says a wise one. And also listening from 34,000 feet, paid for Wi-Fi and you're saving me, says Chris. Oh, it is awesome to have you here. 34,000 feet, that's quite high. Hopefully, it's all going well up there. And respect to England, says Brian. And well, the England are happy today, says Sam Wilson. It'll need to be in the car park to be out of range, says C Fence. And England is playing very well. They don't let Argentina run, says Gustavo. In the chat. But now Elliot Daly, he is sitting 0 from 1 so far for his kicking. Can he get... Nah, he's missed it again. Elliot Daly not quite having the same success as George Ford throughout this game. We have got Argentina extremely disappointing. Great commentary, says Jepaz. Thank you very much. There's no way one of these teams will get past the quarter, says Jaco Vandenberg. I think for England it will determine, or it will depend on who they go head-to-head with. Because, you know, overall, 21 points on the board's probably decent, but will the other teams that they go up against have the same disciplinary issues that Argentina have had throughout this game, as well as those knock-ons? If they face the All Blacks, they certainly will, because the All Blacks were dropping the ball flat out and giving away plenty of penalties. Pumas don't look like scoring, says Calmac. And if I was watching this on TV, I would have fallen asleep already. Thanks for keeping it interesting, Hamish, says Productivity by Design. And also we have got the I agree with Jaco from Productivity by Design as well. But now England, they have got the ball again. Danny Kerr. Now Ben Earls back across. Oh, there's the big shot on Ford. We knew it was coming at some point. And that is going to be kicked too far downfield by England. They'll go right back to where it was kicked from. Loving the chat feed. Game is a lot more boring, says Stan. Boring rugby, these teams are pathetic, says Luis. And there, or Louis it might be actually. And Argentina to come back with 3 tries, says okay. And let Daly kick, says Kerno Tim. Although he has tried 2 so far and he's missed both. Although saying that, if they were missing more, then that would mean that they go for the corner a bit more. And great to have you. Nobody showing the game anywhere near me here in Germany, says Heinz. And we will be back for the 3 games that are taking place tomorrow. We are doing all the Rugby World Cup on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are closing in on 30,200 subscribers. We are 29 away. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get there by the time that England take another 3-pointer. What a disappointment at the Boca. Well, boss, these Northern Hemisphere teams, says John. We have got the F6 Daily. You were a good kicker once. And also we have got the seeing this game. It is looking like match fixing too obvious. But that's just my thoughts too obvious. And there. From it was... Who was that? That was Peter. And England is not going to win the World Cup. Drop goals and penalties. They are doing this with 14 men. Says Mono Lagrange. And also we have got there. It would be good to see 1 try from someone, says Brian. And yeah, we are currently 63 minutes through. Dosaviti, says Fiji. And where is this being streamed, says Andrew. If you go onto the Rugby World Cup website, they will have the different options depending on whereabouts you are in the world. Because depending on where you are will depend on your broadcaster that you have got available. Who you're rooting for to win the cup, says Hennis. I don't know about rooting for who I think will win it. I think there's a really good chance that one of the sides on the side of the draw with Pool A and B will get themselves the victory. I think it's 3-1 in favour of the Northern Hemisphere if England win, says Vinster. The drinks break has now been done. Argentina have got themselves a scrum feed. Were there any drop goals in the second half, says Thuthukani. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And at this stage, no drop kicks attempted. But that is because anytime there's a chance for one, Argentina give away a penalty. So then England just kick it off the tee instead. We have got there hard to see tries when sending off occur so early, ruining the game with over-the-top decisions. Yellow was fine, says Paul O'Connor. And yeah, I feel like I have so many questions in terms of, is this how England would have played had they still been with the 15 men on the field? Or is this kind of like, oh well, if we've got less men on the field, we might as well just take the threes. And if people can blame, we'll say it's because of the red card. Obviously, all England games from warm-ups have been boring, says Alfie. And also the winner will have the best discipline, penalty cost, says Malcolm. And good old tight tussle between these two, says, I was there from Fiji Islander. Now George Ford, that was from about 51 metres out. They have now kicked for the corner. And it's 5 metres out from the line. Brilliant kick from George Ford. England now have another great chance. Juan Cruz Malia trying to keep it in the field of play. Wasn't quite able to do so. This is so boring, says Gary. And then I got Farnell in Melbourne. Says Nazi Williams, and maybe the only guy in England that can score tries, got the red card. It's an idea. England are boring, or boxing clever. We're not the greatest at the moment, but I'll take the win, says John. And yeah, like we mentioned earlier on, it's a tactic that in this game has worked perfectly. Because at the end of the day, if Argentina are going to give away so many penalties back to back to back, you're going to be able to get yourself the comfortable win. And yes, they may not get a bonus point for this, but it's still going to be 4 points on the board that they don't have to worry about getting in one of their other games perhaps, or they at least have a little bit of a buffer so that they can afford to try out a few things in a few of their other games. Another penalty against Argentina. Every breakdown at the moment. People say it's boring, it's rugby, aim to win. Says Joe, they're exactly right. At the end of the day, England, it may not be the most prettiest performance we've ever seen, but it's going to be effective. Like 21 points to 3 is a decent scoreline in their favour. And we have got a donation from Blues Nate. It is the $14.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, Nate. Usually appreciated. I am about to see exactly what it is. It's the hippo on the chair doing a little bit of a spin. And this is perfect for England. This is his style. Says Saiton really thought Los Pumas would have beaten them, says Gary Peter. And also a win is a win, says Andrew. And very impressive from a 14-man England team, says Fiji Islander there as well. So this is from 10 metres out from the line. Are England going for the 3 or are they going for the corner again? They will bring it back and they will go for the 3 points again here. Fair play to the English. They had adapted and survived the W. It's what counts. Not how you got it. Or would you prefer the English lost beautifully against Argentina? Says Kerno Wick. But Courtney Law's now taken off the field. We have got a donation from Nazi Williams with the super sticker, as well as Fiji Islander with the Hey You, and then also the fist bump from Fiji Islander in there as well. Thank you everyone for your generosity and your kind donations. Argentina, just very poor, says Yvonne. As cheap, I'm cheap, bro, says Fiji Islander. Although I do like the fist bump one. One of those. It's a bit sad when I fist bump myself, isn't it? But it's all right. Farrell was an spectacular, especially high on the shoulder charge. Missed him today badly, says DK. And also, yeah, the donos woo, says Marco Vunipola in there as well. The ref is playing for England, says Brian. I don't know about that. He gave them a red card early on in the game. New theory, England have developed an allergy to the try line and Argentina bottled it, says Power by. I guess you will not remember the days when a try was worth 3 points and a converted try was 5. I don't think so. Not quite anyway. I've always been the 5 and 7. And now other people seriously saying the ref is favouring England after that red card, says Jonesy. And refs are redeeming themselves with a red card. Argentina being hard done by, says Adam Gadd. And tomorrow plays South Africa versus Scotland. Watch. We will be doing the live stream on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll be back bright and early. First of all, for that game between Japan and Chile. And then the game after that, it is Scotland versus the Box, which French time is the Springboks game on, I believe, Paris time. That will be 5:35 p.m. I believe. I hope that's correct, though. Now, Lewis Ludlam on a break forward. I think it is just too boring to watch. Argentina is just low IQ, says 415. How long is Curry out for? If it's a yellow, reviewed to a red, says Chris. So at the moment, with it being that red card, I believe there's a chance that he gets 3 weeks. They may look at it again and take it back and then say that he doesn't end up with a suspension, but more than likely it will be like 3 weeks, which will be a bit of a shame. And drink a shot every time South Africa score points. Hamish says, okay, we have also got the donation, so my kids, I don't know if I can put that one up on the screen, Mark. I mean, I'll put it up very briefly. Just don't read it, just hide that part and then we'll just disappear that. Thank you very much for the donation, Johnny, as long as it wasn't made in that fashion. And okay, see for the grandkids today, I'm going to blame you, Hamish, says Nazi Williams. To be fair, George wants to come round after this game is over, and I think he's keen to go out for breakfast or lunch. So we might end up at KFC. Now, Marcos Crema, come on. Argentina, good chance here to score their first try, and not just their first try, the first try of the game. And also we have got the I'll take it off so fast, says Marco. But now, it's going to be Gonzalo Berrano. Big run forward from Thomas Galcho. Now, the reserves bench. This is an attacking opportunity. We haven't seen many of these throughout the second half. Now, Juan Cruz Malia gives it off again. Big run forward from Ugalo. Now, short ball for Marcos Crema. Joe Marler tries to stop him from crossing the try line. Only 2 meters between them. Who will be the player who makes their way? Oh, is it held up? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it is. It's held up by England. We have got a donation from, it was Vulinlia or Vulinlela. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Thank you very much, mate. Once again, we'll check and see what that one is. It is a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And that one you will need coffee. Says Vulinlela as well. Ben Early is bleeding, unfortunately. And looking forward to the England versus Fiji semi-final, says Fiji Islander. South Africa versus Scotland as South Africa win. Very easy match. See you, says ST. And also we have got there in the chat, thank you, says Robert Vale. As well, now Ollie Lawrence making his way out onto the field. He's a try scorer, isn't he? He's got a bit of potential under his belt to be able to go and get himself the try. Gets a big hug from Manu Tuolangi. Now, Manu Tuolangi has been avoiding injury pretty well. I was going to make a joke that he might get injured in the hug, but I didn't. And I'm back. Vamos, says Tate Cook there. I wasn't red card, says Mark Smith. And also we have got there, England have been immense, dominated with a man down as well, says Callum. Now charging forward here. Argentina moving up towards the halfway line. It is Pablo Matera. Wrestled down by Joe Marler. I feel like there's only one man who can have man of the match at the moment, and that is George Ford. No one else has really done much. Although, actually, Courtney Law's probably in with a shot. Another knock-on from Argentina. I've never seen a worse Argentinian performance before. Yeah, this has been pretty rough from Los Pumas and not what everyone was expecting with them building up some nice momentum before heading into this Rugby World Cup. Why take off Montoya on England's line, says Powerbite. And me go to the box, says Yako. And they're really looking forward to SA versus Scotland. It will be taking place in only around 22 or maybe 21 hours time. We will be covering it on the channel, so anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Courtney Laws was amazing, says Powerbite. And also no try so far, says 415. Yeah, I've got there. I'm looking forward to Hamish drinking a shot every time the box scores, says okay. And George Ford for player of the match, says Fiji Islander in there as well. Now 10 minutes remaining. Billy Vunipola, he is watching on alongside Ben Youngs. He's giving them a little bit of a wave. And as McDonald's open, order me a coffee, says Blues. Now, I think they will be by now. I don't know when our McDonald's is open, although it is 30 minutes away, so they should be open at that stage. I'd say Argentina sponsored by Butter Soft, says C Fence, and England wins, says Yako, and hoping for an Ireland versus South Africa final, says Kalen there. And boring game of the tourney so far, says Alfie. It's a little bit of a shame because I know that a lot of people were anticipating this game to be extremely close. I was one of those people thinking it would go down to the wire with, a little bit of an exciting finish. At the moment, the exciting finish will probably be whether or not we see a try. We have got there, rugby isn't popular in Argentina. It's fishing and cricket. Courtney Laws, player of the match, says Paul. And we have got their drive-through, bro, says Fiji Islander. Danny Kerr on the field now for England. Another free kick. Argentina just can't get into it. Joe Marler grabbing one of the Argentines by the shirt, which of course does not make the Argentine player very happy. The guy with the red card should be man of the match. If he was there, they would have played a different game plan. And also, we have got the imagine if I paid, or if paid to see this game, says C Fence. Nicely taken by Emiliano Boffelli. Now, Bazin Velez. Going to the right-hand side for Argentina. Looking for the line break, breaking through the tackle attempt to Joe Marler. Big contact coming in from the English. Mauro Atoje gets onto the ball but isn't quite able to get himself that turnover. A wide cutout pass over the top. Johnny May covering out on the wing, but a good low tackle made by Joe Marchant before they even got there. Now quick hands, another knock on from Argentina. Now points to 3 currently. Another knock on. Ugh. Lots of comments about how boring England have been, but it's reminiscent of when the All Blacks would not be at their sizzling best and would then be 20 points up without the team realising, says Chris. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier on, this is a game that England needed to win. And it may not look great in terms of the entertainment factor, but 24 points to 3, 21 points on the points differential department for England in what will be a very highly contested Pool D. Trying to push Argentina down that little bit more so that you have got yourself that advantage. Jamie George now making his way from the field. And another OMG, says Bali Mutha. And also we're going to enjoy this mark, says Brian. We have also got the England, says Johan. In the chat as well. And Argentina are absolutely dreadful. Samoa and Japan will be encouraged by this, says Brian. Yeah, it opens up the door, doesn't it? For one of the other sides to perhaps make their way a little bit further. What's breakfast going to be, says Sea Fence? I'm not actually too sure yet. To be honest, I haven't really planned it out. I have been up for about 28 hours, so I guess it's kind of tea as well. Kind of like 3 meals in one. I have to acknowledge England made this look much easier than I thought it would be. And with 14 men, great job. This time, Argentina penalty at scrum time. Will Stewart is the man penalised for that one. Argentina never turned up today. Will they be chokers of the World Cup? I thought they were going to walk this one, says Okur. Argentina's certainly making it harder for themselves to get through to those quarterfinals in the future. 2 out of 5 on my game predictions. I have been wrong so far, says Sam. I think I'm sitting about that same mark, Sam. Because I think I backed Argentina. Did I back? Yeah, I might have backed Argentina to win this game narrowly. Just showing Fukando Iza. Wasn't playing in this game. 12 penalties conceded by the Argentinians. Reality versus vanity. England is like a roaring lion with 24 points to 3 for the live viewers' favour. Argentina, says Tay Cook. Another free kick this time for Argentina, closing the gap at line-out time. And certainly not many were expecting the scoreboard or even the result, says Balimutha. Worst Pumas spells a match fixing sad day, says DK. They did walk this one into the ground. And do you play Super Root? I do not, because I am terrible with predictions, as you guys will know. Looks like Marcus Smith. He is now going to make his way onto the field for George Ford, who has done his job very well. No, George Ford wants to stay on the field for one last kick. Has to make the last kick. And if my uncle was a woman, she'd be my auntie, says Noke25. I don't know whether that's to me or whether that's to someone in the chat. I shall wait patiently to find out. How many knock-ons have Argentina made? I think they're up to around 15, and that's not even an exaggeration at the moment. In this game, it's at least 10, closer to that 15 mark. Has somebody told Argentina this is not a friendly game, says Dylan. Predictions for teams in the final, says Callan. I did go with New Zealand, South Africa, but I think now I'm thinking more like South Africa, France, or South Africa, Ireland, or France, Ireland, someone along those lines. Nicely kicked downfield from Argentina. Now, a little bit longer. I think George Ford didn't put that ball out on purpose so that he could stay on the field for longer. Danny Kerr looking to snipe, making the tackle on Buzz Velez, his opposite number. Another penalty to England, 22 metres out. Ben Earl was very fired up for a team that's winning by 21 points, but he is absolutely loving it. We have got the Are you aware of the history between these two countries and the England red card? And come on, bro, don't give up on the AB, says Maxi in there as well. Yeah, to be fair, like as long as they beat Italy, they can make it through, and then it's just that question of who they face in those quarterfinals, isn't it? I feel like there's a very high chance we see Springboks All Blacks as one of those quarterfinal fixtures, and I'm nervous about that one. Although we haven't seen South Africa take part in this World Cup as of yet, people thought that Argentina were going to be in good form heading into this game. So who knows what will happen in that game tomorrow. Well, I can't believe that I predicted the win again, says Dark Scar Flame. Boomers need a name change to Cats. Suits them today, says DK. And go for the corner, says Jimmy O'Brien. That's that woman. Kate Middleton, I think. I think that was correct. She's with William. There you go. I know the Royals. Don't ask me any more questions because I won't get them right. So far today, George Ford has got every point for England. You've got the Argies playing brilliantly, says Goldsmith. But George Ford to add a few more points onto the board now. 27 for himself. And I believe now he will be making his way off the field. But a good performance from George Ford. At the end of the day, he took what was given to him. And he's been taking it very nicely. He collapsed that one. George Ford to Ford miss a penalty kick once. I think he missed one, if I'm not wrong. There may have been just one that Johnny May missed two anyway. I'm not sure if Ford did end up missing one though. I think he was 2 from 3 early on in the game. Maybe. Ford must have been player of the match for sure, says Sider. It's definitely between him and Courtney Laws, I would say. And make this donation stuff. Don't get me going or I'll be broke, says Nazi Williams. And hello from Fiji. What's your assessment of all the referees' performances so far, says Rajeshwar. I've noticed that the TMO have been a lot less involved throughout the matches than we used to see. And I'm heading away. Great work today, Hamish, says Yvonne. So we will see you later on, perhaps for the games that are taking place tomorrow. The final will be South Africa versus the Box, says Trade. I don't think they're allowed to do that, unfortunately. Now, offside penalty against Will Stewart. He's been very unlucky. He's actually been penalised twice since making his way onto the field. Not exactly having the best performance. Elliot Daly missed the kick. George Ford converted all his kicks. Says Doxon, I'm joking. Really appreciate yours in commentary. Been here for a year or so, says Nazi Williams. And it is pretty awesome that now we are here at this World Cup. We've had a lot of you guys joining us for Super Rugby streams, URC, the sevens, middle of the night, random games taking place. We've got another donation, this time from Marina, with the super sticker, the South African Rand. And that sticker, it's about to load on my screen. It is a thank you as well. Thank you very much, Marina. Hugely appreciated. And Michael Chica, seriously, are these Pumas from England? Says DK, but now England, they have got 3 minutes remaining. Can they, or Argentina, get us a try? That's a nice run offload there. Bazan Velez tackled 25 metres out from the line. Juan Cruz Malia going across. Oh, big shot from Joe Malaron Gonzalez. Argentina still with the chance. I'm watching this on stand, but I gotta say I prefer watching you with you, Hamish, says Haka. And there's, yeah, if you guys already have a way of watching the game and you want someone to talk to or a whole heap of people to chat about the game with, perfect place to be. And we are going to be doing all 3 of the games tomorrow. Another great live stream, Hamish, on your brother, says Marco. Thank you very much, mate. And now, Crema going off. Argentina finding the offload. Emiliano Boffelli. Ball on the outside, 10 metres out from the line. Argentina close to scoring the first try of the game. We're at that stage now, though. If we get a try, it kind of takes away from the fact that it would have been a tryless game. But, no, I want to see a try. Oh, did they just lose the ball in the breakdown? They almost did, but Argentina just managing to hang on to this one. Now, offloaded up. 2 minutes remaining. Mauro Itoje trying to get over the wall. Bazan Velez goes off now. Santiago Carreras, bounce pass to Emiliano Boffelli. I wish the Argentines did this about 17 minutes ago and at least looked like they had some intent. Now around the side, Bazan Velez, good low tackle on him by Joe Marler. Ball is loose, had to be slapped back and now cleaning it up a long way out from the try line. It's an advantage for the Argentines now with the high tackle. Juan Cruz Malia, that was relatively high from Will Stewart as well. Now Argentina, Thomas Gasho. In the middle, short side, Emiliano Boffelli, 5 metres out from the line now. Bazan Velez goes off to Marcos Crema, 2 metres from the line now. And 1 metre out. Argentina are over the try line. We've seen a try, ladies and gentlemen. And it is Rodrigo Bruni. Last try wins Argentina, take the victory. No, of course, it's not quite like that, but at least they got some sort of reward in this game, although some would argue that maybe they didn't need the reward because they hadn't put together enough to deserve one. But Argentina, they have scored the try. The kick has gone over, 27 points to 10 now in this game. And yeah, try, says Dark Scar Flame. And yeah, try. And Lekker try, says Cheryl there. Looks like there's some sort of injury to an English player as well. Look like a leg. So that's what a try looks like, says Sighted. And I think it might be too late. I think so. But I think they've still got time for one more kickoff, which doesn't change anything. Argentina still can't quite get within the 10. Check it gutted, says Goldsmith. And disappointment from Argentina. Have some England, and also we have got there. Nobody saw that one coming either, did they? Says Glenn Woods. But now England to kick off. Argentina. Do they look to score once more, or do they just put this ball into touch? It's another knock on from Argentina, so that answers that question. England, they will kick it out. Danny Kerr puts it into touch. 27 points to 10. The win go on the way of England. I am about to lose my voice. There we go. Can we all agree it was Yvonne's fault? She jinxed them. She left they scored. It's like they played fasted. Or they're playing fasted and the Pumas brought and heading to the English Zoo. Unfortunate, says DK. And rubbish, the two teams, Neil England, says Neil there. And what was the odds? So going into this game, they were sitting about $1.95 each. It was pretty even split, but the English, they walk away with the victory, and we mentioned it many times. It wasn't what you'd call, I guess, orthodox, but it was effective. They managed to get themselves quite a few of the penalties. 27 points on the hang on. Oh, yeah, 27 is 9 times 3, isn't it? We got another donation from Fiji Islander. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And cheers, Amish, says Gareth, and also we've got there. Thank you, great commentary, says Dave. And there as well, in England Shades of 2007, says Power Bites. England fans, don't get too ahead of yourselves. You fail to score a try, better opposition will smash you a lot, says Mansour, although it was about getting the win for England. I mentioned that as well. Like, they will look to build towards getting tries in their next few games. Big opportunity for them is definitely up against Chile, but for now, having the win, being at the top of the group for Pool D, going into the last day, is all that they would have wanted, and they have got that just currently. Thank you, Amish. Speak soon later tonight. Says Blues Nate. And also we have got there right after the red card, Argentina went down to $1.30 odds. Says Paul. And also nice one, bro. See you tomorrow, mate. Says Fiji Islander. And Vanaka Amish, see you later. Says Vinny there, and Glenna said massive effort. H in there as well. So the next live streams that we have got, ladies and gentlemen, there are still a few more coming just around the corner for this weekend. The next of which being at 11 p.m. New Zealand time, Japan taking on Chile. So that is in 14 hours time. South Africa, they will be playing Scotland at 3:45. We are also covering that one on the channel. And then the last game of round one, it will be Wales taking on Fiji. And what will hopefully be a better game in terms of the closeness. But thank you all very much for being here. Hugely appreciated all the support that we've had throughout the day. Interesting coverage, great commentary. First time here, new sub, says Andrew. Yeah, do appreciate having you here as well. Yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you do get notified when we do get those next live streams all sorted out, ready to go. And we will see you all for the next one.